amateur
times a little bit.
We'll talk about how that changes the action here at the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon. But talking about another runner who's inspired us, we spoke about the Honorable Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Omar Abdullah, as to how he takes both his political career as well as fitness into consideration. We've got another such professional who's an architect by profession, but takes fitness rather seriously. He's already run 30,000 kilometers. It is Tarun Valecha. Take a look. He's an architect by profession, has been running since 2011, has covered 30,000 kilometers in training. Over the past 14 years, he has completed 58 official half marathons, 11 full marathons and 8 ultra marathons, including international events like the Berlin Marathon as well as the Thailand Marathon. Tarun is also a passionate fitness enthusiast and a climate warrior. Well, all eyes on Tarun Valecha. He's quite a regular and a known face here at the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon. Back to the race. What are you feeling like? What do you make of the temperature?
There's been a slight pickup in pace. I think they're striding out a bit more strongly now. You can see actually in the background there, right of picture, one or two athletes beginning to peel off the back. Only 20 minutes on the clock. We're about a third of the way into the race, and it's beginning to test one or two of them. So I think maybe, we know that that 4th kilometre was a bit quicker, and although the 5 kilometre time wasn't super fast, that's because the first 3K was on the slow side. So I think they're winding it up a little bit now. I'm glad to see this. I think this is building nicely.
Well, this is where, if I put it correctly here, as they approach the landmark where they'll be crossing the India Gate and the Kartavya Path very soon, do the athletes start unleashing and going all out here?
I think it'll be too early for that, but I'd like to see the pacemakers push it along so that they can drag the best of these athletes away and start testing them by 10K, 12K, that sort of distance. And that will set it up for great racing in the second half. So we'll have to see. I mean, there's still, what, about 10 in that pack? 1 or 2 beginning to struggle already, which says to me that there has been a significant injection. We're at 7.5 kilometres. I think there's been an injection of pace for the last 5 or 6 minutes, and it's already finding out 1 or 2.
It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. It is an elite lineup there, and the competition is real. It will be interesting to see how this race finishes, but we're not even at the 10-kilometer mark. Well, let's take a look at how the Indian men are doing so far. Well, you've got a man there who's leading right in the front. You've got Abhishek there. We were speaking about, you know, he's the man for you to watch out for, and he's leading the pack. Who else from the Indian elite men there that we must keep an eye out for, Tim?
Well, Abhishek Pal is obviously the athlete who's gone to the fore and start stretching out the others. And in fact, last time we saw them, there were 3. Now we're down to 2. And Sahil there, hanging onto his heels, very, very powerfully built fella for a distance runner, big, muscular legs. And Pal here, well, he's just got to bide his time. He's got to keep pushing, got to keep the pressure up. You're not redlining. You don't want to go into a zone of fatigue where you actually you destroy yourself, but you want to keep putting the pressure on the guy behind you and just keep telling yourself, this is hurting him, this is hurting him, I will get my reward eventually. So he's just got to persevere here, Abhishek Pal, and keep pushing to retain his title or regain his title from 2023.
He comes from Amethi, from Uttar Pradesh, and we see a lot of runners at the elite level who come from farming backgrounds, who come from smaller cities. What makes them take up a sport like running? Why are there so many featured runners and athletes at a certain level who come from nothing and then make it a living?
Well, that's a really interesting point. You know, farmers tend to be a tough stock, tough crowd, and you know, look at most of the Africans, the Kenyans and Ethiopians. The 95%, 99% of the Kenyan and Ethiopian top runners come from farming backgrounds, and that means they live in the country, in rural areas, often a long way from, you know, roads and villages. But the majority of the Kenyan athletes, for example, run several kilometres to school from a very young age and run several kilometres home again. So they've got years of training in the legs by the time they're 10 or 12. And maybe with a lot of these athletes who are from farming communities in India, again, they've got a lot of physical work in their systems from a young age, helping their parents on the farm and maybe running to school as well.
All right, we're 24 minutes, 21 seconds into the race. And Tim, this is a question that has always intrigued me. How do athletes at this level plan the race? Do they plan it according to distance or they plan it according to timing?
Well, they plan their race from weeks and months ahead. They do the training knowing they've got a certain target, whether it's a 10K or a half marathon and a marathon. If you're training for a 10K or a half marathon, your training is different. There's more speed work, it's less volume, less quantity than for a marathon. But in the last few days, these guys will have been winding down. Obviously, you're training almost every day with quite a lot of fatigue in your legs. And when you approach a race, you freshen up. You want to feel bouncy. You want to feel ready for the race with a lot of extra energy in your legs. They're approaching India Gate here. They were at, what, 8.7 kilometers in this race. And,
yep.
Yeah, they're almost at India Gate now.
And the iconic India Gate. They are at India Gate. The elite racers here, the leaders here at the iconic India Gate, one of the most spectacular sections of this course. But continuing our conversation, we were talking about how this race might change in many ways at this particular juncture. What a sight that is, but this morning as the sun is rising, you've got the elite men there. Just in the background, you've got the India Gate and the masses.
I love that because the masses are applauding these elite athletes as they go by at about 3 times the speed of the masses. There's 9K. They've just gone through 9K. And that was what, with about 25:50 on the clock, give or take a few seconds. So that is significant. But yeah, I love it when the crowd of runners becomes the crowd supporting the elite athletes. And they're still moving nicely. And we've got, what, about 9 or 10 still in this group. So they're approaching halfway. And that's when I think somebody will take their gloves off and maybe kick in and start running more aggressively.
Yes, but the crowds have been stellar here. You've got thousands here lining up at Kartavya Path, and it's just getting started. This is roughly the 10-kilometer mark, and here on the Kartavya Path we see what Delhi really stands for this morning is really coming to full bloom, because Delhi also stands a lot for your right. And through this sport, the sport has just become a medium where people come out and talk about what is right for them and what they stand for, and all the causes here. We will see that in the Open 10K as well as in the Great Delhi Run very quickly. But talking about and coming back to the elite, what is the change that you're expecting now?
Well, I've just been calculating what sort of schedule they're on. They're on for a time at the moment of about 60 minutes 30, so outside the 1 hour mark. And of course, the course record is 58 minutes 53. But so often in races of this nature, in this day and age, with the shoes that the athletes wear, they can run negative splits, and that means the second half of the race is significantly quicker than the first half. So if they get to halfway at about 60-30 tempo, and they pick it up through the second half, they could go a long way below 60 minutes still. I don't think the course record's going to happen. There's Pal, and he's broken away, and he's got the gap, and that is significant. Approaching halfway, he's just gone through 9K, and his time at 9K would have been, what, about 27:35. So he has got that gap. He's been rewarded for that hard work, and he's now got to double down. What he mustn't do now is ease off and give the athlete behind him a sniff of getting back to him. He's got to make it hurt twice as hard for the athlete behind him, put in another kilometre here of really hard running and get that gap, and then you break that sort of psychological elastic band between the two.
I'd like to get a glimpse of the athlete who's right behind him, because that's a real challenger, and that's what Abhishek Pal will be looking out for. But you spoke about shoes and how they're different now and how the technology helps them to push harder. You've got the elite women here, right at India Gate, and leading the pack is? Will we get a closer look at it?
Hard to tell from this shot, because Ayayu, I think, is at the front end, the winner from last year, defending champion, of course, from 12 months ago. And she is capable of taking this title again, because I think this is playing into her hands a little bit, because it's on the slow side. I mean, her personal best is 67, and yet Rengaruk's personal best is 63. So Rengaruk would prefer this to be quicker, but it's not.
Yep, well, we've already crossed the halfway mark. This is where the tempo picks up. This is where the pace picks up. We'll take a short break here. You stay tuned, because this race is getting heated.
cities and empires.
These nights are always special.
From kings to contenders.
A night that is set up for heroes.
They all chase one thing.
And this is the Champions League for you.
It's more than silver.
What a night for football.
More than glory.
Unbelievable.
It's the cup that rules them all. Watch the UEFA Champions League live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
जारी रहेगा बिग बी के जन्मदिन का बिग सेलिब्रेशन।
आज खुश तो बहुत होगी तुम, जो आज तक तुम्हारे मंदिर की सीढ़ियां नहीं चढ़ा, जिसने आज तक कभी तुम्हारे सामने सर नहीं झुकाया, जिसने आज तक कभी तुम्हारे सामने हाथ नहीं फैलाया, वो आज तुम्हारे सामने खड़ा है।
कल रात 9 बजे सोनी एंटरटेनमेंट टेलीविजन और सोनी लिव पर।
Watch the European qualifiers. Latvia versus England, Wednesday, 15th October, 12:15 a.m. Live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
Sony Sports Network presents Cricket Blockbuster Season.
Wow, what a game of cricket we're having. What a beauty.
As the two giants of world cricket clash, witness a high-voltage white ball series.
Oh, bowled him. Boundaries are flying at the moment. That has been an extraordinary.
New Zealand versus England starts Saturday, 18th October, live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
Welcome back. It has been an incredible start to this morning of the 20th edition of the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon, breaking barriers since 2005. Now, in our studio, we're joined by the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, Shri Vinay Kumar Saxena. Welcome, sir. Doesn't it make you really happy to see everything that Delhi stood for? It's coming alive, and it has been at it consistently for 20 years. You've been here since the very inception. You also mentioned that in Delhi, not just runners run, their entire family comes together and everybody starts running. Take us through that thought.
Well, I have seen very recently the entire atmosphere is charged. People are excited. I'm also excited. And this is the 20th edition of Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon. It started in 2005 and now 20 years it has completed. 40,000 plus people are participating in this marathon. This shows, yes, the people of Delhi has accepted this as a part of their family. A lot of family people are participating. There are 4 to 5 members of a family are participating in it. And I have seen the atmosphere charged, fully charged. I'm also very, very happy. And the best part is more than 10,000 women are also participating in it, apart from, physically challenged people. It's something incredible.
I think also what's important too is that this sends out a message. You know, people associate India with cricket.
Absolutely.
And this sends out a message that actually India's sporting platform is far more diversified these days. You know, it's wonderful that these pictures are going out around the world and people are understanding that actually India has got running now. And I think it's only scratching the surface. I think there'll be 10 times as many in another 20 years.
I fully agree with you. I mean, the people of Delhi or people of India are crazy about cricket, but now the atmosphere has changed, absolutely changed. The number of 40,000 people participating in one city itself shows that people of Delhi, people of India has now changed their mindset. There is a call by the Prime Minister of India, Fit India, or Run India. So this is one of the factors where the people of this country have started participating in other parts of the area, in other parts of the game also.
But let me just point your attention to the race, the elite race, where there has been a breakaway. There we go. They've gone through 15K, and the split at 15K, therefore, about 34.05. And this is a big surge. Now, they went through 10K in 28.44 in the men's race, so they're still on schedule for something around 60.30. But I think with this surge, they will actually start heading down towards below 60-minute tempo. And that's really the benchmark of super fast world-class running. If you can get under the hour for the half marathon, that would be brilliant. And I think, you know, it is a warm morning out there. It's about 22 degrees centigrade outside. It's not perfect conditions today. It was cool, much cooler earlier, but the temperature's risen pretty quickly over the last couple of hours. But this is a big breakaway. I mean, you know, 5 or 10 minutes ago when we last saw them, there was a pack of about 10 or 12. Now, one athlete on their own. I'm just trying to see the name of that athlete who has gone through 15K. And it's Quebec who has hit the front and is breaking away. And that is a big surge from Quebec. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, I'll quickly have the tides change, and how beautiful does the city look as he breaks away. There's a big landmark here. As you see the iconic India gate right in the background.
Yes,
and the sun just about warming up. The temperatures will start to rise, but so is the temperatures rising here, of course, in this race. Now, very quickly talking about the other aspect of the race, where it is a zero waste and landfill event. You've also planting 35,000 saplings, and your Project Bold is planting more than 50,000 trees.
Yeah.
How big is this stride?
See, land degradation is a big challenge, not only for India, but for other parts of the world also. There is a clarion call by the Prime Minister to regenerate all these land parcels. Project Bold was launched by me in 2021, and now it has gaining ground. In Delhi itself, I have planted more than 275,000 bamboo saplings, which has grown to now 30 to 40 feet. Why bamboo has been planted? Because bamboo transmits 30% more oxygen as compared to other trees. So that was the reason, and it takes less water. Delhi, as you know, unfortunately is a polluted city, and the state government is working very, very hard to come out from this stigma. There are landfill sites also, which we are trying to reduce. So I'm very sure in 3 years' time, that Delhi will be a totally changed city. It will be clean atmosphere, clean air, and no garbage.
This is a huge step, and thank you so much for taking that step, is because, as you rightly mentioned, the pollution was a major concern here in the city, and it's good to see that through this platform we're being able to do so much more for the city. Now, a quick look at the race as well. Indian elite men, what are we witnessing?
And I thought Abhishek Pal in the blue vest had actually got rid of the athlete behind him, but he hasn't. They're back together, so we've got a wonderful race building here. They've been out on the roads for, what, 37 minutes now. They're well past halfway. And Pal, I'm glad to see this, because so many times in Indian races, whether it's in Bangalore over 10K or in Mumbai over the marathon distance, you see the Indian athletes running together, watching each other a bit more cautiously. Thinking possibly about the prize money and the domestic dust-up. And what you want to see is you want to see them push out hard and be aggressive, throw caution to the wind, and try and chase and get closer to the international elite.
Exactly. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, they have to learn from other athletes, because they are always concentrating on race, run, not watching each other. That's the biggest problem in Indian athletes. I think you have very rightly said, and they should concentrate on the run. And I'm sure Indian athletes are also doing well these days, and they will definitely come up.
Well, this is the Indian elite women, I think.
Yes, you've got Seema, who's in the lead right now. The Indian elite women is what we're looking at.
Yeah, wonderful.
But a very interesting point in that you mentioned, you've represented a sport at the highest level. When you said that the Indian athletes take a look at the other athletes and try to pace, how does that change the game?
Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Because Indian distance running is still developing. They're some way from world class in the majority of cases. And one of the best things that could happen to them is to go abroad and get more experience racing in Europe, racing in the USA, where they're dragged out to performances. They're not watching each other. They're racing against people they don't know. I think, you know, the community of top Indian runners is fairly small. They race each other quite a few times a year. They know each other. They know their strengths and weaknesses. So there's a lot of domestic pride at stake. And they need to sort of have their horizons expanded. And the only way of doing that, really, is to get abroad and to get in big races in Europe and USA. And there's many opportunities. It's easier said than done, of course, because there are certain logistical elements of traveling to Europe or traveling to the USA and finding races. But that's what needs to happen.
Now, we're taking a look at the Indian elite women right now. How do you think this race is developing?
Well, it's hard to say, but what is good to see is that Seema has got a pacemaker there, a male Indian athlete running with her, as we see one of the other big races getting ready to start. But
it's the Open 10K.
Yeah, the Open 10K. That's another huge one, isn't it? Is that about 10,000 in that one, I think?
Yes, and this will be from Sansad Marg past Jantar Mantar, the ancient astronomical observatory that measures the heavens. And today, these runners, of course, will be representing here in the Open 10K. This is another kind of challenge. Now, this is a very different story as compared to the elite athletes, because when you see the Open 10K, you've got a lot of friends who've convinced other friends that you must come to the race. It is slightly simpler, but hey, here they are running not just to be breaking barriers and set records, but more so breaking barriers for themselves. This is as serious as it gets for individuals, because 10K also is no small achievement there, especially when you've just taken on to running. You've not done it at a professional level. You've got other careers to take care of, and in spite of that, you're training for a 10K.
Vedanta half marathon has become a household name in Delhi, actually. And because of that, actually, the people have started participating in it. As I said earlier it was, one person who was participating in the run, but now they convince others to participate, and 5 members of the family are participating, which is a big thing, and I think it will grow in the years to come.
Oh yes, in 20 years we've gone from 19,000 to 40,000. We're going all guns blazing. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you.
It was good to have your word on this special edition that we're celebrating. All right, back to the race here. You've got the elite men here. What are we witnessing now?
Well, Matata pushing out very hard and in isolation. Looking very strong indeed. Now, there's a good stride. There's a real power to his stride here, and I suspect he's heading down towards sub-60-minute timing here. He's still got, he's at about 2/3 distance, so he's got 18 or 19 minutes of really hard running in front of him. He's sweating up quite a lot, but he's wearing those arm sleeves, which is interesting, the black arm sleeves. So I presume he'd pull those off if he was too hot. But he's moving well. I'm not sure if he's had any looks behind him to see what's going on. It'd be interesting to see the gap behind him if we could, as he gets water there, and it's important. And look, plenty of that being thrown over his head and his chest. Yeah, that must be a lovely, lovely feeling for Matata, who is moving so well. And there's the gap behind him. It's, about 30 meters by the looks of things.
Right, Matata there, and we're witnessing women as well, but just coming back to Matata, Tim, what were his achievements as he came into this race? As to why is he flying so high as compared to the rest of the pack?
Matata, well, he was second last year. He knows the course. The man who beat him last year is not here. He's very consistent. He's a regular winner. In fact, his record of consistency at the half marathon is quite astonishing. He's won 8 of his 10 half marathons. But we're seeing the elite women's pack here, and they are choosing to run more tightly together. There's Ayu, the winner last year in the red strip, and Amangole is there as well. Catherine Raylene Amangole, a bronze medalist at the World Championships a couple of years ago in Riga, in Latvia. So these are tightly bunched, and that tells me they're running a bit more conservatively than the men, because there's 5 women. They're very close together, and Virata there as well, looking quite comfortable, the left of the group in that red vest. Viratu.
Right, and back to Matata.
And we have just had confirmation that Matata is in the lead. We thought maybe Kibet was in the lead, but Kibet, I think, was one of the pacemakers. Coming towards the 15-kilometre mark, so waiting for that split. But this has been a vicious acceleration from Matata through this third quarter of the race. That tells me that he'll run a very special split for this 5K. Remember, his time at 10K, the pack's time at 10K was 28:44. So when we see him go through 15K, we'll be able to calculate what this 5K he's just done has been running. I suspect it's well inside 14 minutes. When you think their first 5K was 14:19, that's a big acceleration mid-race from Matata. There it is, 42:52 at 15K.
And look at that gap between him and the rest of the pack. He's running a solo race here.
He is, yes. And 42:52, I'm just looking, that is... yeah, he's still on schedule for something around 60:30. I think he may have to work very, very hard this final 5 or 6K to get under 60 minutes. But that's a big gap. He's worked so hard for this gap, checking his watch, so he's thinking on his feet. But I'm a little surprised more athletes weren't able to go with him, because it was relatively conservative to 10K, 28.44 at 10K. That was the time. Now he's kicked in hard, and you'd have thought normally 2 or 3 athletes would have been able to go with him. But maybe he kicked in really hard. You know, if you absolutely get your head down and charge for 5 minutes or so and put in a hard mile, a hard 1,500 meters, then you will get that gap.
Matata. I'm from Kenya. Growing Kenya, it wasn't easy for me, because I came to realize that I can be a good runner, and there was no supportation from anybody. And I was raised by one parent, whereby she struggled a lot. And what I can say, actually, I thank her, because she was very much fun for me and for my brother, because we are twins, and my brother was to come for this race, but unfortunately he got an injury, and then he told me, my brother, can you go and represent me this, because we are all one thing. Yeah.
Alex Matata.
Yeah, it's an unusual story. It's a lovely story. He trains with his brother Charles and a friend, Brian Quenmo. There's only 3 of them who train together. Vast majority of the Kenyans and Ethiopians belong to huge squads of 15, 20 athletes or more, but he's very different. Under his coach, John Litte, he's gone down a different path, and it's working for him, and it is fabulous to see. He was beaten by Cheptegei last year. He led through 20K last year, so he led 90% of the race, and then he was caught by Joshua Cheptegei, and he lost by a few seconds. So here he is in the lead. Cheptegei is not here, last year's champion, and he's looks to be heading for victory here. It's very impressive. He's still got about 15 minutes of hard running to come, so who knows what could happen. But athletes of this caliber very rarely fold up dramatically in the latter stages. They're usually able to hold their form.
Right, but it is an incredible surge from the leader here, Alex Matata. You see no one else following him. He's the lone warrior that we see. He knows this course really well. He was second in the last edition of the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon. But where are all these athletes? We welcome them in India. The hospitality that we've been able to give has been truly incredible, and it is all because of Le Méridien. Behind every world-class event is definitely world-class hospitality. Le Méridien New Delhi has been the official hospitality partner of the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon, hosting elite athletes from around the world. When international runners arrive in Delhi, Le Méridien becomes their home away from home. Pre-race, all the kind of hospitality that India could provide. We've been able to take care of the elite athletes and also the Indian athletes. They've all joined us here in Le Méridien. And we've got Abhishek Pal still in the hunt for that podium finish. We have Kiran, who's joined him. Now, the accolades of Kiran coming into this race, Tim?
Yes, Kiran Matre. Well, he is a good athlete. He won that Bangalore 10K last year. He's trains at the Army Sports Institute of Pune and Wellington Ute, the 24-year-old. He's long and tall, isn't he? He's Matre, Kiran Matre, and he's got a long stride too. It's almost like he overstrides. It looks like he's running in slow motion almost. Whereas Abhishek Pal in the blue there, it's got a more steady, stable way of moving, a little bit more of a rhythm. But side by side now, and they've got a good gap. I'm trying to see who that is in 3rd place, whether that's one of the international elite that they've caught up. I'm not sure. But these two are going to take it to the wire, I think. They've only got, what, about 15 minutes of running to come, and they're probably helping each other at this stage just to stay and keep a good gap ahead of the rest.
Yes, it's less than 7 kilometers to go now with the final stretch. This is where you see dramatic things happen. But having said that, we see Seema in the Indian elite women giving it a push, but she's also being challenged on the other side, where you've got, I'm not being able to see the other lady here, Seema, as well as we've got...
I'm just trying to see who that is.
Yeah, just trying to see
who that is in the pink beside her. Seema is one of the less heralded Indian athletes. I wasn't expecting her to be up like this. I'm assuming she's the leading Indian woman.
Yes, but
at the moment, and that would be a real surprise.
That's the Indian elite women for you. We'll also take a look at the international elite women and what's happening there. Well, still in a bunch. Nobody's really breaking through.
Still four of them together. Yeah, although Lilian Rengaruk, the pre-race favourite because she's by far the fastest on paper, is leading. How does somebody manage to almost walk out in front of this pack? It's astonishing. But Rengaruk, anyway, has a little glance over her shoulder there. And with, what, 49 minutes on the clock, they've got about 15 minutes of running to come. So I think she's going to start turning the screw here and trying to put the pressure on the other three behind her. You know, you don't want athletes to get comfortable. If you've got a little bit more in the tank and you can run quicker, you should do, I think, further out from the finish. And I think Rengaruk will do that now. I think she will begin to wind it up and try and whittle down this pack. Four is too many.
Right. Now, this particular event of the international elite women looks like chess at 3 kilometers per... You know, you've got 3 minutes per kilometer, because that's the kind of strategy that we might witness in the last part. If we just had to call it the end game, how do the women plan their end game here? What do they do differently?
Well, there's probably at least one, maybe two of those four who thinks they've got a really fast finish. They would love it to come down to a sprint over the last few hundred metres. And correspondingly, two of them will be thinking, I need to kick on hard here and make these last 3 or 4K really hurt.
All right, Abhishek Pal has taken the lead in the Indian elite men.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? They looked so cosy together just 3 or 4 minutes ago. And Pal here, digging in deep again. He did this, what, about 20 minutes ago? He got his head down and created a gap, and then he was closed down, and now he's doing it again. And that's quite a hard tactic to contend with. When somebody you're running beside puts in a surge, and you're able to go with it, and then you have to let go and they get a gap, but then you catch them again, and then they put in another surge. It turns it into what you call almost a fartlek, which is a Finnish word for speed play. And it's where you're surging fast and slow, and it's a very hard tactic to contend with. But he's at about 17K here, and Pal has got that gap, and that gap is growing really quickly.
So how does, when you spoke about that surge that comes in and goes out, how does a leader there defend it?
Well, there's not much you can do, but it depends whether he's toying with the field and doing it by will, or whether or not he's actually just having good and bad patches himself. You can't really tell from these pictures, but the fact is he's got the gap now, and I think what he probably needs to do is have a look over his shoulders, see what sort of damage he's done, and that'll give him reinforcement and he can push on. Matata here, look at the empty road behind him. This has been a massive 5K from Matata through to 15K. Got to 15K in 42.52. I'm just trying to calculate what that means. He ran his last 5K in. It was quick. It was certainly very quick. It was something like 14.08, I think. Not as quick as I thought it might be, but it's still very, very quick running, much quicker than the first 2 5K segments. And don't let's forget that the temperature is picking up. These guys are feeling tired now. They're getting into the latter stage of the race. There he has a little glance over his shoulder. That wouldn't have told him a great deal, because he could only see about 30 metres, but we saw early, a minute ago, that there was a gap of maybe 100 metres or more behind him, so he'll be pleased with this. And when you glance over your shoulder and you see a gap and you realise, as he probably is now with 52 minutes on the clock, Redeemer, you realise you've got the win in the bag. You get a surge of adrenaline yourself. It helps yourself.
Yeah, I would imagine. And he's not threatened right now at all, because we don't see anybody close to him, unlike what's going on in the international elite women, though. So he's the lone warrior there, gunning for that podium. We spoke about mentally how when you look behind, you have no one else who's right behind you, gives you a mental surge. But what about the kind of mentality when you were competing in a bunch to the very last minute? If you speak about the international women, what are they thinking right now?
Well, you've just got to have confidence in your own strengths, your own finishing speed. I mean, Matata here, completely opposite situation. That gap, maybe is that somebody in the far background there down the road, but maybe 100, 150 metres behind. And I've worked out he's just covered his last kilometre in, I think, 2:44. That is very quick. He's really flying here. There's his splits, 52.25 at 18.4K. That doesn't tell us a great deal. 18.4K doesn't mean a thing, so we'll ignore that. But the fact is that his last kilometre up to 16K, while he's at 18K now, he ran in 2:44. And if he's maintained that sort of tempo, that's why he's doing the damage, because this is world-class speed he's churning out now. He's closing at an incredibly fast tempo. 19K there, and let's have a look at the time at 19K. It would have been about 54.09. At 19K.
So you've got another 3K to go. That's the last part of the race. It's another 2K to go. He's going to really push it if he wants to get close to...
He's still heading, I think, for something just outside 60 minutes. 58.53 was the target before the race. That is the course record, but I think that was a very, very tough goal. And I'm not sure, once they'd gone through 5K at a relatively slow tempo, it was realistic to start keep talking about 58.53. I think the 60-minute barrier is now the big challenge for Matata here on a very warm day. What I am surprised about is that he's on his own. He's got glory. We talk about the isolation of the loneliness of the long-distance runner. Yeah. And that's what he's got here. He's looking very, very strong. I
was about to ask you that. Are you surprised to see him alone right there, and you can't see anybody? Our cameras can't capture anybody right in the background.
Extreme right, there is somebody back there, but it must be about a 25-second gap, I think, that he's built up now. But it's over 100 meters.
But the field that we had 8 athletes with personal bests under 60. You have a mechanism there.
No, that's right. And so I was expecting more of a pack through 15K, for example. But I think this has been a tactical race today. I think they all did run relatively conservatively, perhaps scared of the heat, through 10K. And then he has kicked in so hard from about 12K onwards. That's what's created the gap. It's not a reflection upon the others so much as the brilliance of his run. You know, I think it's the severity of his acceleration that has created that gap.
Right, we want to see, and if we have to take a look back, you know, probably the highlight, we want to see where did the surge really happen and how brilliant was it. Well, the celebrations are coming in. Alex Matata running for glory, running for history, and running for that podium.
Absolutely, and this is a great reward for a man who last year was leading at this stage and then got caught by Joshua Cheptegei. Cheptegei, incidentally, who won last year, was and still is the world record holder for 5,000 and 10,000 on the track. So he is a very, very special athlete. He's up there with the legends of like Paul Tergat and Haile Gebrselassie, you know, and the sprint equivalent of that, of course, is a certain Carl Lewis and Usain Bolt and so on. But this is from Matata, world-class racing, there's no doubt about it. And isn't he moving well? You know, I mean, I think checks his watch again. He's really running well, thinking on his feet. He's running a cerebral race here, I think is what you can say. It's a smart race. And, you know, you have to have that because the vast majority of distance races these days are flat out from the gun. It's sort of point and press. Today has been a tactical race, and yet he's handled it like a real pro.
He indeed has. Now, talking about Cheptegei, you know, Tim, everyone who follows athletics, track and field, are very well aware of the achievements of the man. The man is a huge name when it comes to athletics. And coming back to Alex Matata, an incredible sight here as he crosses the streets of Delhi. You see the police, the authorities, you also have the volunteers here. Every single person has come together. You've got more than 5,000 people in numbers in terms of police security. You also have volunteers here, ambulance, doctors, physios, everyone who's come together for the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon. You've got another less than 800 meters to go now in the race.
And that tells me that he's probably going to break 60 minutes. This is fantastic from Matata. I mean, he has been an absolute machine this last couple of years. This year, he won the RAC Half Marathon in the United Arab Emirates, a very fast course there back in February. He won 2 races, half marathons in China. He won the Istanbul Half Marathon. I was at that one earlier on this year. He's had 4 big half marathons this year and 4 wins. And as I said earlier, 8 out of his 10 half marathons in the last 21 months have been victories. I mean, that is almost unprecedented. The quality of his racing ability and his ability to win is quite astonishing. And yet what's funny is he's fairly modest on the track. He's not been a track racer. He's an out-and-out road racer. 500 meters to go, 58.5 minutes on the clock. He is going to go a long way under 60 minutes, actually. This has been incredible, this second half. And what I want to be able to do, and I'll do it before the end of the program, is work out his first 10K and his second 10K. And the contrast between the two will be massive.
And to see what changed in that period. But this race was pretty well defined right at that point, just when Alex Matata broke through and you have no competition there, 15.9, just about nearing the finishing line. It'll be good to see who comes second and third.
Well, it will, but he's a big Arsenal fan. He loves his football, and Arsenal are going rather well in the Premier League at the moment, and this has been a rather good day for Alex Matata, the 27-year-old Kenyan. He's into the finishing straight now. Look at the clock. It's going to be under 60 minutes, I'm sure. It's not going to be a course record, but on a warm morning here in Delhi, this has been a majestic, dominant run from him in a tactical race. Alex Matata has come back second last year. He's going to be the victor today. This has been very, very special indeed from the Kenyan. Perhaps the most consistent half-marathon runner in the world these days. Crashes through the line there in 59.47 unofficially. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Matata. On a warm morning, he has destroyed a world-class field here in Delhi in spectacular style. That was quite magnificent.
Oh, what a story there. He was here last year. He finished second. He comes back and comes in here. And for the second and third place, we still have some action.
We do. Teshaga coming through there for a second place. The 25-year-old Ethiopian, he gets second place by a few meters. His time about 60.20, I reckon, Teshaga. That's still good running from him. Teshaga, in fact, has run a personal best there. He'd never broken 60.31. That was 6 years ago he ran that time. But that is brilliant from him. And in third place there, James Kipkogai. Was only about a second down. Kipkogai, who is a sub-60 marathon runner, half-marathon runner at his best. Well, he's run, what, about 60.22. I reckon he was about 2 seconds down there in third place. These are unofficial times I'm giving, of course. But that's the 1, 2, 3. Matata of Kenya, Teshaga of Ethiopia, and Kipkogai of Kenya in third. Great racing from those three, but a surprisingly dominant run from Alex Matata.
Oh, the athletes celebrating, but it would be good to see what the international elite women are up to. Because remember, they were still in a bunch. Nobody really had broken through the pack. How competitive is that field? You had a beautiful run, a dominant run from Alex Matata this morning, finishing off in the first place. Under 60, breaks through world-class athletes
there it
and
is,
conquers it.
Yeah, 59.50 given as the official time for Matata, and Teshaga 60.22 and Kipkogai 60.25. But no, that's a super racing from Matata. And from Teshaga, well, he obviously had a tougher race, but he's had a good year. He won the Rio de Janeiro half marathon back in June in 62 minutes, nowhere near as quick as today.
Indian men, Abhishek Pal.
Abhishek Pal inside the last 800 meters. Now, this will be interesting. Can he break 64 minutes here, Pal?
I don't see Kiran Matre, who was competing with him.
Yeah, Matre has dropped right back. Maybe he was overextending himself, Kiran Matre. But Pal's best is 64.07. Now, this will be interesting. He could be heading here for a new personal best. He's got to work really hard this next 600 meters or so.
Another solitary runner.
Yeah, another solitary run, another... Well, he's worked harder for his, though, hasn't he? He had competition until a few minutes ago, whereas Matata was a breakaway winner. But this is a lovely story for Pal. He was encouraged by his uncle, who initially trained him. His family has a deep sporting lineage. He's got 4 cousins who are good sportsmen. His sister, Fulan Pal, was a long-distance runner at national level, and he began his athletic journey back in 2012, this lad. And just a year later, in 2013, he clinched his first international medal at junior level, starting a really promising career. 400 meters to go. If he can cover that in around 65 seconds, he's going to be very, very close to his personal best, 64.07. I wonder if he knows how close he is to his lifetime best. Watch that clock, 64.07. The seconds ticking away unforgivingly.
But it has been quite the run from Abhishek Pal. He's been quite consistent. And what do you make of, what is your take on the way he's run this morning?
Well, it's been a confident run. I think that's probably one of the most important things to say. You know, he's been a dominant figure in the race here. Now, he's running quite relaxed here. He's not really giving it everything, is he? He won here 2 years ago. He's come back to win again in 2025. His personal best, 64.07. He did that when he won here in 2023. I'm not sure he's going to get through it today. I think he's going to be a few seconds outside it. I'd love to be wrong. Hard to tell from this shot where the finish line is, but the most important thing, I suppose, is the victory. Pal here, look, 64.07, clicks by now. He's going to be at 5 seconds or so outside his lifetime best. But that's a brilliant run. Carl Lewis there in the pink T-shirt applauds him home as he wins the Indian title here in this 20th edition of the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon. That is superb from him. A really strong run in not ideal conditions. I think we have to remember that.
Yes, in not ideal conditions. But I wonder, here comes Kiran Matre. Kiran Matre right behind him, gunning for the second place. Will finish it off. Carl Lewis at the finish line welcomes Kiran Matre home. Some great action here, but let's get to the international elite women. Now that was close when we last saw it, but let's take a look at who comes in the third place as well.
Well, Kiran Matre.
Kiran Matre in the second place.
Is that second or third?
I wonder.
Didn't we have a third? No, I think we had a second place come in.
Yeah, that was Kiran Matre, isn't it? Who came in the second place.
But I
we have to take a quick look at that.
Them. Anyway, back to this elite women's race. Viratu working really hard. We're down to 3. Tekle, the 20-year-old, who was the early leader, looking tired there. The head is back a little bit, the arms a little bit tight across her chest. You see the athlete Viratu in red. The arms are swinging far more freely across her chest. And then behind them, tucked in, I think that's Lilian Kazait-Ringaruk, who was the pre-race favourite. Yeah, she moves to one side. Is she going to kick away now with just a few hundred metres to go? It's going to be incredibly tight, this one. What a contrast to the 2 men's races where we had runaway winners in the Indian men's race and the international men's race. But Ringaruk here, tucked in behind these 2. Quite a clever tactic because she's not giving anything away. Sometimes you get a feel for the athletes beside you, their breathing and their body language, and you can have a glance at them. She kicks away with 500 metres to go. That's a tactical move from her. Tekle has a glance over her shoulder. That's the boxing equivalent of throwing the towel in, so to speak. When you have a look over your shoulder, it means you're so tired you can't challenge these 2.
Oh, it's an incredible piece of information.
Mind you.
But that was a good push from Lilian.
Viratu.
But Viratu is back in action. She is leading the race now.
And I believe this is Viratu's debut. And actually, she's relatively unknown, this Ethiopian. We don't have an age from her. She comes from Tafashega city. It's her first ever race outside Ethiopia. What an opportunity she has grabbed here by both hands. Talk about grabbing the bull by the horns, giving it a shake. She's so unknown. All she's done is cross-country and road races in Kenya, in Ethiopia, before today. Most recently, she was 5th in a 5 kilometres back in Addis Ababa at 8,000 feet altitude. Well, here she is, and a battle royal here, as Lilian Kazait-Ringaruk, the pre-race favourite, kicks again in the home straight, fighting with every limb, every sinew here to get past Viratu. This pair, neither of them giving an inch. What a run this is, but Kazait-Ringaruk is surely going to take this one. She crosses the line, breaks the tape there by a couple of metres, defeats the unknown athlete Melal Siyum Viratu into second place. That is a spectacular shot there for the young Ethiopian. But Ringaruk, well, maybe it was pride that carried her clear there. I reckon over that last 100 metres, she would not be defeated.
What an incredible finish there at the International Elite Women. Those last few seconds is what really stood out. Now, that's what I call a race. You had Lilium just pushed through in the last final seconds. You had Viratu there, who was really gunning for it, making her debut, but definitely stealing the spotlight. Now, we've got the International Elite Women here. You have Lilium, who's come first. You have Viratu, who finishes second, and Tekle takes the third position.
And those times are great too, considering the conditions. Those times, I think, relatively speaking, those are better than the men's times. 67.20 in these warm conditions. By 1 second is quite fabulous from Ringaruk. And what a new star has been discovered here in Delhi in the figure of Viratu in second place.
She was the fan favourite as she came into the International Elite Women competition here at the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon, and she's lived up to the billing. Now, this is the only elite race that remains. Seema, now she seems to have taken a good leap there and made a push through. She's made a surge.
Yes, I don't have a best time for Seema, but actually she's beating some good athletes here. And, you know, the Indian women are lagging a little bit behind the Indian men, relatively speaking, against the clock. They need to be dragged up to international class times. And maybe Seema is the athlete to do it because she's moving really well here. I wish you had a little bit more company, actually, because in the latter stages of races, when you're on your own, it's really tough. You're hurting, and in a way, having somebody alongside you to race against gives you more incentive to keep working even harder. Whereas if you're a runaway winner, you can cruise home a little bit, both physically and psychologically.
That's very interesting to know, is because I would imagine when you've got a runner right beside you, you're stretching yourself so hard, and mentally you've not still won. So you're still...
No, but you're not thinking about the pain. You're racing against the athlete beside you, and your whole... The intensity of your mind, your will, is taken up with winning the race or defeating the athlete beside you. Even if you're not the leading pair, you want to race against those around you. If you've got nobody around you, the main thing you've got to keep you company is the pain and the discomfort you're in. You're not thinking about a competition.
Another question here, you know, we just saw Abhishek Pal. He was very close to breaking his own record of his personal best, which is 64.07. I wonder if anybody told him so, is because if he looked a little relaxed in the last few minutes. If he had the information that he was about to break his personal best, would it be a different story?
No, absolutely. I know. I wish somebody had been screaming at him about 800 metres out. You can get a personal best here if you get your head down. Because he did. I'm sure he was in a lot of pain. I'm sure he was hurting, and he'd given, you know, 99.9%. But if he'd known with a couple of minutes to go that just digging a little bit deeper he could run a personal best, maybe he would have done. But this is great running from Seema. I mean, 17 minutes on the clock, and you look at the personal bests of some of the athletes. The defending champion, for example, Lily Das, her personal best is 78.12. She did that when she won here last year. And yet, you can see it quite clearly. Seema is going to run something around 72 minutes. I mean, this is a brilliant run from her. She's clearly hurting, but hopefully she's getting roared on by the crowds there near the stadium and is heading for a comfortable win. I mean, I can't see anybody behind her.
Right, and when you see an athlete like Seema putting up her best and especially clocking in that time, you've been here since day one, Tim. How far have our Indian elite athletes come?
Well, they've come a long way, especially the men and the women. I think the fact is that Seema here is running hard and she's on her own. That tells me that she's defeated the best of the Indians some way back. So she has been racing the clock, not the other Indians. And look at that, has run herself into the ground. She's run, what, about 71.20. That is a stunning time from her. That is knocking on the door of international class from Seema. And she is a perfect example of an athlete now who needs Indian athlete who needs international competition.
Right. We still do not have a second-place finish or a third-place finish. We will keep an eye out for that. We'll take a short break here. You stay tuned as our elite races have wrapped up.
Across cities and empires.
These nights are always special.
From kings to contenders.
A night that is set up for heroes.
They all chase one thing.
And this is the Champions League for you.
It's more than silver.
What a night for football.
More than glory.
Unbelievable.
It's the cup that rules them all. Watch the UEFA Champions League live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
जारी रहेगा बिग बी के जन्मदिन का बिग सेलिब्रेशन।
आज खुश तो बहुत होगी तुम, जो आज तक तुम्हारे मंदिर की सीढ़ियां नहीं चढ़ा, जिसने आज तक कभी तुम्हारे सामने सर नहीं झुकाया, जिसने आज तक कभी तुम्हारे सामने हाथ नहीं फैलाया, वो आज तुम्हारे सामने खड़ा है।
कल रात 9 बजे सोनी एंटरटेनमेंट टेलीविजन और सोनी लिव पर। सोनी स्पोर्ट्स नेटवर्क प्रेजेंट्स स्पोर्ट्स का ब्लॉकबस्टर सीजन।
जी हाँ, तेज कर रात क्रिकेट के लिए हो जाइए तैयार। Cristiano Ronaldo, Harry Kane.
Sony Sports Network पर। Sony Sports Network पर।
Across cities and empires.
These nights are always special.
From kings to contenders.
A night that is set up for heroes.
They all chase one thing.
And this is the Champions League for you.
It's more than silver.
What a night for football.
More than glory.
Unbelievable.
It's the cup that rules them all. Watch the UEFA Champions League live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live. The UEFA Champions League is brought to you by Oppo and Pepsi. UEFA Champions League official sponsors.
Oh, what an incredible morning we've just witnessed. Well, the course record 58-53 wasn't broken, but history was rewritten. Now, in studio, we have a man who knows a thing or two about making history. It's Carl Lewis. What an honor. What a privilege.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. You know, I love India. And, you know, the first thing I do when I get here is I like to eat. So I've had food, but I have not had samosas. No one has given me a samosa yet.
Oh, come on. Production. I mean, let's get samosas. Tell me what you want.
I want everyone to know that I like spicy. So I'm not like the normal people.
What about a nice cup of Indian tea then instead?
I've had that too. I like Indian tea. I love the food. I love the culture. And many people may not know that, but I had a very, very close friend named Sri Chinmoy, who was an Indian spiritual teacher. So I have a lot of friends, Indian friends, and understand a lot about the culture and the spirituality. And so it's really special to be back here.
So good to hear that from you, Carl.
Yeah.
Now, one thing, the samosas are coming right after the show. I'm bringing them myself. And tea is not spicy. It's very sugary here in India.
Right.
It's got a few spices in it, but it's like...
I love the fact. Well, in the tea thing, it's flavor.
Right.
You know, spice is flavor.
But you know what? I mean, you guys are the king of teas, the kings of tea, obviously. But in the UK, you get asked milk and sugar. Here, it just comes sweet as heck and full of milk.
All right, coming back to the race. Have you had a lovely morning? Have you seen everything that has just transpired? We just saw you at the finish line welcoming our Indian elite men. What did you make of it?
Well, first of all, I'm glad where I am in this space in my life, because a few years ago, this would have been last night. You know, caught me this early. And I just think it's incredible. It's so amazing to come to these races, especially for someone like me who's a sprinter, and see how fast they run for so long. They're running so fast, and just to see the athleticism of these athletes is just incredible. And the men and the women, it's so amazing that how fast the women are. They're faster than the men were just a few years ago. So it's for me, it's always a revelation to go to these road races, because road running has been an incredibly important part of the amateur to professional transition in track and field. It never could have happened without these races.
Yep.
Carl, in the UK, a lot of the top sprinters from the 80s, your era, my era as well, have been encouraged to do the London Marathon for charity and that sort of thing. You look like you keep in shape. Have you run a 10K or a half marathon or a marathon?
Well, you went the wrong way. You started at the half marathon and gone down. I have not. You know, I'm going to tell you something. My coach once told me, do not run distance. It's not a pretty sight. It's not even the fact that I can't do it. He says, you don't even look good running slow. So I've not do that. I ride a bike. That's how I get my fitness.
That's good. That's still good. That's still endurance. I think we're going to have a look at the highlights of the races now, the elite races.
Yes, let's see how it all panned out. This is the elite men. This is how it started. And you had a certain Alex Matata who just came out all guns blazing, and he was a solo warrior running in and made it a little below 60 and takes up the podium. The 58-53 record wasn't broken, but Carl, you were talking about just to see how fast these men are running. What did you make of it this morning?
Well, the big thing is that, you know, early, and I saw Quebec was in the front leading a long time, and you know, it's really tough to lead the entire race. So sometimes you wonder, are they helping the pace, or are they just really pushing the pace because of the finish? But I think that they were pushing it because Matata's finish was so strong. And I mean, going through the finish line, look at that great-looking guy on the side there. Look at him.
Who are you talking about? The guy in blue?
I'm talking about the governor.
No, that was a spectacular run from Matata. By the way, Quebec did lead for a lot of the race, but that's because he was one of the pacemakers.
Yeah, see, there we go. See, I'm learning something. But I think it's pretty fascinating just to watch. You know, there is strategy in every race at every distance. And to think about, even 100 meters, there is a strategy to the race. Now, they have to go for an hour and strategize this race, and a lot of it is dictated based on the people you're running against.
We're just watching that Indian elite men's race unfold, and the early stages in the Indian men's race were pretty similar to the international race, and then it came down to these two. Pal there against Matre. Abhishek Pal, who was won the title here in 2023, came back 2 years later, and a dominant win from him. The women's race actually was the race of the day, because Lilian Rengaruk here was the quickest on paper, one of the fastest in the world ever, as Pal came through to finish just ahead of her. So Rengaruk. There's Kiran Matre. He came through for second place, I think, in that Indian men's race. We'll confirm those for you very shortly. But Olivia Rengaruk was the winner of the women's elite race with a spectacular sprint. And there's confirmation of the win for Alex Matata here at this 20th Vedanta Delhi half marathon. 59.50, spectacular running in warm conditions, winning by over 30 seconds from Bayaleen Teshaga. That, however, was a personal best for Teshaga, and James Kipchoge, 60.25. Good running from him as well, and Legesse under 61 minutes. So really strong running there, and Kenyans and Ethiopians sharing the accolades.
Yeah, we were wondering who finished third there in the Indian elite men. We have the result here. Abhishek Pal, Kiran Matre on the third position. You've got Karthik with a timing of 1 hour, 5 minutes and 16 seconds. In the fourth, you've got Muhammad Ali, Manoj Kumar on the fifth, and Lafreet Singh who finished sixth. Now, Abhishek Pal takes away this show, but were you surprised the fact that Alex Matata took such a long lead? You had no other competition in the field?
Right. Yeah, you know, it was interesting because you're right, it is warm. I mean, for us, this is good weather, but I know for distance runners it is warm. And I thought that actually about 2 minutes out, I said, this guy could break this record. But then I saw he had such a lead. It was kind of like, I'm close to the finish line than you are to me. So it seemed like he backed off a little bit towards the end. Or if had it been closer competition, I think they could have gotten the record today.
It was a very special run, actually, because that was a high-caliber field, a strong field in depth, and it was a relatively tactical race. You know, there was a big pack of them through 10 and 12K, and he kicked in dramatically in the second half, probably in about the last quarter of the race. Carl, were you saying just now that you have got plans to run distance stuff? I mean, you're going to stick to cycling? Bad knees? What's your excuse? Knees, hips?
Age.
No, we've all got a bit of that.
Yeah, but it's just that I want to, because I was a jumper, and I want to keep my hips, I want to keep my knees, and really it is agonizing for me to run distance. It's really agonizing looking and agonizing feeling. So that's just not for me. And you know what? It also illustrates the great genetics of the people that are good at it. You know, they can say, oh, you're such a great athlete. Well, you know what? There's some things that I absolutely cannot do well. And I think
like?
what they just did.
Not by that bullet. I mean, I used to run 400 for my club terribly, but you're allowed to run a terrible marathon.
Yeah, okay, but see, the 400s only has 2 zeros.
This is true.
You know, you're adding a lot of zeros.
42,000. Yeah.
Right, too many zeros. But I here again, you know, it's often like I'm asked, do you want to run masters? And so no. Not because I don't want to do it. It's because that's not really for me.
Could you? Do you keep in shape?
I could.
Do you strides?
I could, but it's not really for me. But the people that I watch that do it work so hard. They do so well. And I'd rather admire what they're doing instead of me just getting out there and doing it.
All right. Okay. Keeping that in mind very quickly, let's take a look at what the women were up to this morning, the international elite women. We had the favorite, the fan favorite who came in, Lily, of course, took the podium, and it was comparatively more competitive than the men. They were in a pack mostly, and then in the end is where it was rather competitive. What did you make of it, Carl?
Well, I was pretty excited about the kick at the end.
Yeah.
You know, think about this. We just had a really close race at the World Championships. Matter of fact, the marathon was closer than the 100 meters. So
probably was.
It's always incredible to see a kick because you're sitting there running for over an hour. And then you could, I got it. And then the last 5 seconds of this long race, you could see, I think she did her hands up. She was really excited.
2 meters in it after 21 kilometers.
Right, exactly.
But look at that expression that Biratu has got on her face because she was the one who was leading. She's making her debut in the race. She could have stolen the limelight.
Right, and just like that, you get it. And that's the thing about it is that you can go up, you can go back. But here's the thing. Even though you're running for over an hour and you have all this strategy, it's still generally 1 or 2 mistakes somewhere. So in our race, we make one mistake, we lost. And in a lot of cases, the same thing happens even though it's a long, long race.
Although in distance races, if you make a mistake, you have a chance to recoup things and regain the ground you lost, so to speak. In 100, you know, there's millimeters of difference between right and wrong.
And you can sometimes recover, but generally you cannot. And that's kind of the interesting thing about the distance. And how the thought process is different of how we strategize. Our objective is to run in our lane and do not worry about anyone else. And no matter what, it's our lane, our thing, where distance has to understand that. You know, if there's a person in there who's a great kicker, you may want to run that kick out of them. If you are the great kicker, you just stay close and out-kick them. So there is a lot more of a strategy, and so there's more of a thought process in the process of the race.
Sounds like the philosophy of life.
Let's just check out this result of the elite women's race there. Lilian Kazait-Rengeruk, the pre-race favourite, did indeed deliver good. She left it very late, winning by 1 second, 67.20 ahead of Malal Siyum Biratu, 67.21. Again, the Kenyans and Ethiopians sharing the spoils. Mulat Tekle running 67.29 for third place. But probably the run of the day there is that second place from Biratu in her debut. Completely unknown. We don't have an age for her. We don't know anything about her apart from a couple of little domestic races back in Ethiopia. So she has come of age here today. And the Ethiopians and the Kenyans keep discovering, unearthing these fabulous runners. Seema, dominant run from her. And look at that winning margin, Redeemer. That's over 4 minutes.
Yeah, Seema, Ujala, Sanjeevni Jadhav, a name who is quite regular here, finishes third. You have Lily Das, the defending champion, who finishes fourth, just couldn't finish on the podium. Ankita and Pavara there. But Carl, coming back to talking about philosophy of life, but something very interesting that you pointed out about these athletes, even in long distance, strategizing for that 100 meters. Well, I want to know from you, how did you strategize your race?
Well, my race was, I guess the easiest way to explain it to everyone is that human beings can only maintain top speed for 1 second. Maximum second and a half, 10 meters or so. So in 100 meters, 90% of the race is speeding up and slowing down. So the strategy for me was to extend that top speed period later in the race. And so therefore, that's why I didn't come out as fast. Because if you think about it, if I hit top speed at 60 or 70 meters, then I have a shorter distance to slow down. And if they hit it earlier, they have a longer distance to slow down. And as you can imagine, you're going to slow down faster than the momentum you have speeding up.
I thought the skill in 100, I thought most guys hit top speed at about 70, and the skill is holding your form and not decelerating that last 20 or 30. And you were great at that.
Almost no one hits that late. You know, I would say 75% hit it before 60.
But for example, your world record, at the press conference on Friday, we saw a replay of your world record in Tokyo in 91. You were probably last at 10 meters.
Yeah, right.
And by 70 meters, you were coming through. By 80 meters, you were in second. By 90 meters, you were in the lead, and you won in a world record. So your best patch of your race seemed to be the last 30.
Yeah, so what happens is that I hit top speed in that race about 65 to 70-ish in that range. And so then I only had 25 or so meters to slow down at the end. And of course, you slow down, it's on a sliding scale. So in the beginning, it's little, and as you go farther. But I remember, I think it was lane 1 was way out in front. And he just died at the end because he went out way too fast. You can go out too fast in every single race. Even the 60 meters, you can go out too fast. So that's the one thing that we have in common with distance races. Don't go out too fast. Because you're going to die.
You were pretty good at 200 as well, though.
Yeah.
Mate, and did you ever run 400 like...
No, my coach answered that question once. Someone asked him, why doesn't he run the 400? And he said, because he can run the 100. So I never ran the 400, just in practice.
Well put. But coming back to the 20th edition of the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon, when it kicked off, Carl, you had made a statement that, you know, this might just be the beginning of the race, but this is just the start and it will take off. Here it is in all its glory, right, blooming, and it has taken off. How far do you see running now going ahead in this country?
Well, I think there are two things. From the past to now, I think the biggest and most important part of this explosion is women. When women continue to get involved, that brings the family together. And I think that's so important. The next thing, I'm talking straight to you, the entire country, get the Olympic Games. You deserve it. It would be incredible here, and it would create an explosion in sports in your country. You deserve it. You're ready. It's an exciting time for this country right now, and I think it would be absolutely fabulous to have the Olympic Games here in India.
We're acting on it as a country. We are acting on it. We're looking forward to it. But
I was actually talking to the IOC also. But anyway, go on.
I'm sure they were listening. I'm sure they were listening.
But soon, very soon. Thank you so much, Carl. Thanks a lot for joining us. Thanks for bringing in that energy in the studio.
Well, thank you for having me. Like I said, the greatest thing that ever happened to me in my entire life and career is travel. This is about the 10th time I've been to India. I've experienced all the culture, different places. I've been to the Taj Mahal. Even that drive there, I've dealt with that too. That's a little challenge. But I think the biggest thing is that it's my pleasure, and it's my opportunity to come back here again and see the people here and experience and watch not just the growth of sports, but the growth of this country. My first time was 1989, and to think from 1989 to now as a country is exciting, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Thank you. We're very happy that you've come to India so many times, and we hope to impress you every single time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for joining us, Carl. Well, it has been an incredible morning so far. We've seen our podium finishes. The elite race has come to a wrap. We still have the great Delhi run that we will be looking forward to. We'll take a short break here. You don't go anywhere because we still have a few more action that comes your way.
Cities and empires.
These nights are always special.
From kings to contenders.
A night that is set up for heroes.
They all chase one thing.
And this is the Champions League for you.
It's more than silver.
What a night for football.
More than glory.
Unbelievable.
It's the cup that rules them all. Watch the UEFA Champions League live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
जारी रहेगा बिग बी के जन्मदिन का बिग सेलिब्रेशन।
आज खुश तो बहुत होगी तुम, जो आज तक तुम्हारे मंदिर की सीढ़ियां नहीं चढ़ा, जिसने आज तक कभी तुम्हारे सामने सर नहीं झुकाया, जिसने आज तक कभी तुम्हारे सामने हाथ नहीं फैलाया, वो आज तुम्हारे सामने खड़ा है।
कल रात 9 बजे सोनी एंटरटेनमेंट टेलीविजन और सोनी लिव पर।
Is that going to work? Yes, it will. Scores are level. Oh, make that three. I want to get it. I want to get it. I want to get it.
Fly high. Catch the RR Kabul Prime Volleyball League, powered by Scapia. 2nd October onwards, live on Sony Sports Network.
Sony Sports Network presents Cricket Blockbuster Season.
Wow, what a game of cricket we're having. What a beauty.
Sony Sports Network.
Watch the European qualifiers, Portugal versus Hungary, Wednesday, 15th October, 12:15 a.m. Live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
As the two giants of world cricket clash, witness a high-voltage white ball series.
Oh, bowled him. Boundaries are flying at the moment. That has been an extraordinary.
New Zealand versus England starts Saturday, 18th October, live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
Across cities and empires.
These nights are always special.
From kings to contenders.
A night that is set up for heroes.
They all chase one thing.
And this is the Champions League for you.
It's more than silver.
What a night for football.
More than glory.
Unbelievable.
It's the cup that rules them all. Watch the UEFA Champions League live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
Welcome back. It has been an incredible start to this morning, the 20th edition of the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon, breaking barriers since 2005, and we have broken some barriers this morning as well. What we've witnessed in the elite category here, you had a certain Alex Matata who took up the podium, a big surge, a big lead from the man, and then he was just dominating. On the other side, of course, when we talk about elite women, that got a little competitive. How would you define this morning here, Tim?
I would say great racing, especially in that women's race. I mean, actually, both international elite races were won by the pre-race favourite, so it went the way we expected. And I love sport when it's unpredictable, but actually we had superb races. I mean, Matata's performance was magnificent. He dominated that men's race, destroyed a really, really strong field. So you just have to stand back and applaud. And in the women's race, Lilian Rengelrook was favourite, but she was losing to a virtual unknown until about 5 metres from the tape. So it was a delightful tussle there at the end of that women's race. But yeah, you just have to hold your hands up and go, crikey, these East Africans, the Kenyans and Ethiopians, you know, yes, they have cultural advantages and genetic advantages, but they bring it to the races again and again. They're so consistent.
Yeah, consistency is what we're celebrating here in the 20th edition. And it has been an inspiring story so far. Here's another inspiring story that I bring to you about a man called Bhaskar Kamble. He was born to landless farmers. Even 5,000 rupees for him was a miracle. He first ran to survive, and now he runs to inspire.
Every morning, Bhaskar Kamble woke up to a gamble. Born to landless farmers, no work meant no food. भास्कर, गावातील रेसला धावतोय का? 5,000 मिळणार आहे भाऊ. 5,000 rupees. In a life where even 5 was a miracle, Bhaskar lunched at the village 5K like his life depended on it. More than the victory, calloused feet gave birth to hope. I could change my story. After 30 years of watching his parents churn soil they'd never owned, Bhaskar put his legs to work for himself. Stunning wins at marathons across India brought his family their first taste of financial security. Life pulled him back. The birth of 2 daughters, responsibilities, and the dream folded like old clothes tucked away for someday. The dream deferred. Bhaskar now became a provider. Away from family, away from the finish line. And then a decade later came another epiphany that he could finally run just for himself. As running consumed him once again, Bhaskar picked up where he had left off and pushed things further, building a character firm as oak, the kind that rewrites futures, not just of one's own, but all those who run along. Bhaskar Kamble wakes up to train young athletes in his village, Washing, potential police officers, civic authorities, and defense personnel in the making, sprinting past adversity just like he did. And the race continues.
What a lovely line. Now he teaches the next generation to outrun their fate. Now, his dream was folded for 10 years and then making a comeback. How do you find that strength after 10 years to be able to do that all over again, and this time not for yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that whole story is incredibly humbling, you know, racing because he heard about a bit of prize money, which by Western standards was not a huge amount of money. And look at the prize money that's been won today by the elite athletes. So helping support his family with his running, inspiring his kids, teaching the community, coaching the community in effect, and to outrun his fate. I mean, I love that phrase. That you could put that on a T-shirt. You could make a film out of his life story. It's fantastic.
Well, if someone's watching, they might as well. But we've got such incredible stories that we've seen so far. And we were talking about how most of the big runners come from humbler backgrounds, and they find the strength to be able to outrun their fate, as it was put out there. But what is this one story about a certain runner that has really stood out for you over these 35 years of broadcast and before that when you were a race?
Oh, I think the contrast between the lifestyles that we live in the West, where kids, everybody lives relatively luxurious lives. You know, we talk about first world problems. We complain about getting a parking ticket and everything. And half the planet's looking for their next meal. And you know, these Kenyans and Ethiopians and a lot of these Indians are from very, very humble backgrounds. And it makes you realize how lucky you are, I suppose, when you come from a privileged Western background or a good class background anywhere else in the world. But yeah, it's the fact that these athletes grab the one opportunity they've got, because there aren't many opportunities in rural Kenya and rural Ethiopia to make money, to become middle class, affluent, superstar, super rich. You've got athletes from Ethiopia who have earned so much money They're like gods. They've got palaces. They own Haile Gebrselassie, probably one of the richest men in Ethiopia. You know, he's got umpteen five-star hotels and so on. But they all, nearly all of them, had incredibly humble backgrounds, growing up in mud huts in villages out in the countryside and looking after the goats or the cattle during the day and running to school every morning. Haile Gebrselassie has got one arm when he runs that is slightly different, in a different position to the other. And because as a kid, he ran to school with his books under his arm every day. For years, he was running with books under his arm. So when he became a world record holder, he would run like this in a different way.
Oh, wow. Well, the brilliance of a human endeavor, you know, it doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is where you finish. Now, we are also joined by some very important dignitaries this morning. We're joined by General Anil Chauhan, the Chief of Defence Staff, the Department of Military Affairs. Let's see what the man has to say.
So happy to see you here, sir. So this has truly become an event, which is a rare event spearheaded by literally by India's defense. We have huge participation from the Army, Navy, Air Force. So is there something that you want to send as a message to the youth of the country at this kind of a participation?
Look, I think in today's event, a large number of generals, admirals and air marshals are taking part, including our air chief. Armed forces and physical fitness they have a lot in common, and soldiering and physical fitness are almost synonymous, if you say. You know, when we look at soldiering, we look at two things as attributes which a soldier should have. One is to shoot straight, and second thing is physical fitness. So this is still relevant today. In fact, more relevant, and in fact, it can get you medals actually, other than in military domain.
So you have such diverse passions, and you follow art, you follow golf, you've been a player, golfer earlier. So how do you think a person needs to balance both passion and some kind of a pursuit that one is really very interested in?
This particular job of mine is quite busy, actually. I used to play golf. I have left it after I became the CDS. But then you got to take out your energy somewhere else also. So art is one field, and that actually gives you some kind of mental relaxation. So you have to find out time for both these activities.
So one message to India and the city of Delhi about how this event has actually been a true symbol of breaking barriers in various forms.
I think running is a kind of sport now, which is almost for physical activity. I think it's a good sport. It is one sport like golf, you know, you can compete with yourself. You can participate as a team, you can participate individually, you can participate with your partner. So I think it's a good sport. And Procam has done a wonderful job actually bringing this sport to Delhi, and it's so popular now. Almost about 40,000 people are participating in it. I wish them all the best in all their future endeavors.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time, sir.
Well, the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon is actually a platform where leaders come together. You have personnel from military coming together and force from the sport itself. Now, Prachi, our roving reporter, has been getting us all the action from Ground Zero. Now, she gets us a very interesting fitness test with the runners who've just finished. And this is called breaking carbs. It's basically a fitness test with a twist. What have you got for us, Prachi?
Absolutely right, Ridhima. So on grounds, we have a segment called Breaking Carbs. Just when you thought you could basically cross the finish line and that's going to be over for you, you were wrong, because race abhi baki hai mere dost. We have three really pretty and endurant runners with us who are going to basically give us a really good challenge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a challenge that they're going to perform, and we're going to stretch it beyond the strength of endurance. So, ma'am, would you please introduce yourself and why are you participating in the marathon?
Okay, my name is Priyanka and I want to do the Procam. So I'm starting with Delhi.
Okay.
My name is Prizula, and for my physical and mental well-being, that's all.
This is Sarah because I love Procam.
All right, so now the challenge that you guys are going to do is a plunk challenge. You guys are going to get on your mark when I say 3, and then you guys will start doing the plunk. Now, whoever can hold out on the plunk the longest wins. So we're going to start in. Please take your positions. All right, give our ladies to prepare some time. All right, on your mark. In 3, 2, 1. Come on, keep going. Yes, we have the girl power on the ground. Holding on to it. Yes, that's what we talk about when we say feminine energy. I can see the endurance push through. All of them are going really well. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Yes, that's like it. You all can see that the postures are quite firm. You can see the endurance peek through. And remember, guys, they have already run a marathon. This is the level of strength at Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon. Come on. We need one winner out of you all three. We've already passed the 30-second mark. They're going on and going on. All right, you know what? None of them is giving up, so all three of you win. Come on, ladies, stand up. You guys win the challenge. Let's all have a round of applause. How was your experience like?
It was great. It was fun.
It was great. It was great.
And for
It's good.
And for all the viewers who are watching us, let me tell you, all three of you are winners. So let's give a wave of victory to the camera. Over to you, Ridhima.
Oh, Prachi, you really did test their core strength, didn't you? But it was good to see that they were able to plank for quite some time after running the race. Now those women have their strong core. But what is beautiful is to see 40,000 runners participating. But apart from that, you had so many other Delhiites who'd come in to cheer for them. The atmosphere was absolutely scintillating at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium and across the whole course. What did you make of it? Does Delhi always surprise you?
Well, it surprises me, and it carries on growing. It's getting bigger and bigger, and bigger numbers than ever before this weekend. Over 40,000. You wonder where it's going to go from here. If they can find space for them, is it going to get up to 50,000? And then you're talking about one of the biggest running festivals in the world over the one day. I mean, it's quite astonishing where this event has come from 10 years ago, never mind about 20 years ago. And Carl Lewis was quite right. You know, the most significant thing is that women's running has grown dramatically because men will always enjoy sport, whether it's running or golf or tennis or hockey or cricket or whatever. Men will always enjoy sport. But the growth of women's sport, not just in India, but generically across the planet, has been fantastic, and it is an incredibly positive thing.
And it's under the spotlight now, because the media has also started to realize how far the sport has come, and they carry a different kind of vibe altogether. When you talk about women in basketball, in running, in cricket, they have a different vibe altogether. And that vibe is now coming across, and now actually everybody is getting a glimpse of what they stand for. Now, again, talking about everyone that has inspired us, we're getting you such brilliant stories. We have another story coming your way. It is about Arush Khanna, the man who's inspired millions there. Let's take a look at how his story pans out.
We are enjoying his race. There's a lot of dancing and fun. Yes.
Arush, you have been the part of Champions with Disability Run over 8 years. What's the most special memory or feeling that keep you bringing back every year?
Dancing and fun. Dancing and fun. He's speaking. Dancing and fun is here for this.
Thank you, Arush. You are known for your passion for environment and creativity as the weekend road performer. How do these passion influence your experience here at Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon?
Very good. Fabulous.
Very good.
Very good. Very good. Yes.
Very good, Arush. Thank you very much. Agli baar aane ke liye. Vedanta Half Marathon is...
Well, he's a regular face here at the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon, the champions of disability race. He's only 27, and he also works in an NGO very closely where he brings forward his creativity and, more importantly, works towards the upliftment of others. Prachi's got something more for us now. She's going back to breaking carbs. Let's see now who else is there who's getting tested. Over to you, Prachi.
Pratibha, let me tell you, the competition for breaking carbs blew wide open because we have people and participants from all age groups and different walk of life. So come, let me introduce you all to them, sir. Your name, your age, and why you're participating in the marathon.
My name is Sandeep. I am 63. I participate in this race because I love it. I love the energy.
Yeah, you love the energy.
Hey, I'm Manak. I'm 25, and I'm just running for fun.
I'm Kritin. I'm 25. I'm running because I like running and I want to overtake my brother.
Okay, where's your brother?
He hasn't run this time, but he has quite a few medals. I need to overtake him.
My name is Shank. I am running Vedanta because I want to run through the India gate. That's it.
Right, we have all the goals lined up and all of them are lined up. They're going to do a push-up challenge for 30 seconds. Please take your position, gentlemen. We're going to start on my mark. in 3, 2, 1 and hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4. My game coordinator right there is counting your counts. Ladies and gentlemen, keep cheering them up. We have 4 people. Come on. Yes. Keep going, keep going. Oh my God, I see so much strength in one frame. 19, 20, 25, 26, 27. And time's up. Okay, now let's all have a round of applause for all the lovely participants. And my game coordinator is now going to tell me who won. And sir, who is it going to be? Sir, give me your hand. Congratulations, you're the winner, and also a great participation from this side. Ridhima, there is so much fun happening at the Breaking Ups. I cannot wait to come back and show you more participants.
Well, I'm looking forward to that as well, but I disagree. I thought the man who won, I know a thing or two about push-ups now. I don't think his form was great. What did you make of the form?
No, I think it's wonderful that the 60-plus-year-old was the winner there. I think he deserved it just for taking part. He was keeping tabs on the rest of them, and he was just nice and steady. They started fast. It was a bit like Carl Lewis's 100, the opposite of. They started fast and slowed. He just kept a nice, steady rhythm throughout. So I'm voting for the 60-plus-year-olds here today, and they got the winner dead right.
Right. Clearly, we have a difference in opinion here, but I'll just keep quiet. All right. Well, let me remind you that we were joined by the Honorable Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Omar Abdullah. Well, of course, an incredible story of the man. Here he is saying a couple of things about what did he make of the 20th edition of the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon.
Sir, you finished a fantastic race. Happy with the timing?
Excellent timing. I did better than I'd expected, so I'm very pleased.
Morning shows the day, and a run like this in the morning, does it help you plan the day, and especially with the kind of schedule you have?
It certainly does, because I think this is the only time I get to myself. No phone calls, no messages, just me and my thoughts. It allows me to put the past day into perspective and plan for the day ahead.
And also breaking barriers, the 20th edition, big event, and running in Delhi is growing. Your thoughts?
This is a huge event, but it's more than just the athletes that run. It's the whole ecosystem that goes around it. And the number of families and underprivileged people that get helped by this event is truly phenomenal. The amount of money that the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon has put into underprivileged society is something that other events really need to emulate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
It's been a pleasure.
You know, to see the Chief Minister of his state, that to Jammu and Kashmir, coming out and participating in the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon, and he's done it before, he's finished a 21-kilometer with minimal training, is a statement in itself. It says a lot about how the mentality of our leaders towards the sport has changed, and that will lead the way and pave the path for many more to take it over. Because now it just defines that you could be in any job, any role of responsibility, but you could still find the time for your fitness.
And leading from the front, leading by example. That's what's brilliant too. When you see politicians actually taking part in sports events and endurance events, whether it's a marathon or a half marathon, it is fantastically inspiring. And your admiration goes up for them, whatever their political colours, so to speak. And actually, I think it's important that, you know, he mentions that people are running for charity as well, because if you're going to run a marathon or a half marathon, why not raise a few rupees or a few dollars for other people?
Indeed, indeed. And in fact, that acts as a major motivation as well. But talking about motivation, Prachi is back there, and you've got a few runners who just finished the race motivating us as Prachi is throwing a few more details in them. This is Breaking Carbs yet again. What have you got for us, Prachi?
All right, now, Ridhima. Before we had different generations in one frame, now we have different professions in one frame. Actually, one of them is also dressed as a farmer on purpose. So we have, ma'am, what's your name?
I'm Durgesh.
Durgesh. Durgesh is a crisis manager.
Dr. Santosh.
Santosh is a doctor, but he's dressed up as a farmer. We'll get to that later.
I'm Prahlad.
Prahlad. Prahlad is a safety personnel.
Yeah, safety.
Right, so you both, all of you are going to do plunk challenge, and we'll see who can outdo the plunk. with each other. Now please, on your positions. All right, ready for your plank? In 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 guys are going really good. 15, 16, 17, keep up the good work. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Let me tell you all that we all agreed for 30 seconds, but they're pushing it beyond 30 mark. All of them are doing it wonderfully. And we're now currently at 36, 37, 38. Keep going. Keep going. 44, 45, 46. Come on, keep it going. The crowd's cheering for you, yes. Oh my God, you guys are as resilient as Vedanta because we're also completing 20 years into the game. I guess it's a place for winners. Come on, keep cheering everyone, for them. Yes, come on. They're going on for more than 1 minute. Wow, okay. Okay, and I see the madam is also giving a tough competition to both the men on the podium. Okay, I don't know when to stop. Actually, you guys just keep going and keep going and keep going. And I think that leaves us with only one answer, that all three of you are the winners of this competition. Come on, let's give it up for all three of them. Well, I tell you... All right, Ridhima, I tell you, when I say endurance is quite high on Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, everyone, by the way, has completed their run. That's Prachir Stogi, and we were at Breaking Carbs.
Breaking carbs, and how? I don't think they've eaten as many carbs in the last week if they were running a half marathon. But since there was no 60-year-old there, I think I'll get an honest opinion from Tim now. What did you make of that form?
Well, can I just say, from an objective perspective, I'm not sure that the plank will ever be a spectator sport. I think it's got certain challenges, apart from doing the plank itself. Once it gets going, it's the interaction with each other, the competitors, that is absent. So it's brilliant that those fellas can do it for as long as that, because I'm sure I can't. But
it's absent in running as well.
It's what?
It's absent in running as well.
Well, you're moving and running. Subtle difference.
All
Next
right.
question.
I've got someone who's talking about the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon. We'll take a quick look at that. We've got Dinesh Kumar Tripathi. He's the Chief Naval Officer. Let's take a look.
Sir, as we celebrate the 20th year, what is your message to the youth to take up healthier lifestyle?
I'm very happy to be here at the 20th edition of Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon. There's a great initiative, and events like this, I believe, augment the, first of all, bring the fitness and sports atmosphere in the country, as also augment the Government of India's initiatives, such as Fit India, Khelo India, and the new sports policy. All these combined will, I believe, enhance the culture of fitness and sports amongst our youth and amongst the larger population in the country. We in the Navy are doing a bit. We have had in the last over 1 year, had 3 challenges, namely the physical challenge for about 90 days, where people knew about their body weight, BMI, etc., etc. And thereafter, we went into the mental challenge to look at the mental aspects, and we rounded off with the psychological challenge. So I am always happy to be present here and learn something from here myself.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dinesh Kumar Tripathi, Chief of Naval Staff. He was talking about the challenges and his learnings from the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon. Every time you come to India and when you see these marathons take place, you've been here since day one. What has been your learning out of it?
Crikey, that's a big question. I'm not sure. I do know you never stop learning. I mean, he was saying he never stops learning, you know, and it's great that the Navy are supporting the athletes in the race, that their own athletes in the race. And I can remember in the very first Mumbai Marathon, the Navy was playing helicopters for the cameras and things like that. They've been a massive partner throughout the whole journey of running and its growth in India. I suppose it's just it's helped me retain a degree of humility, I hope. And when I come to India, I try to get out running, even though it's cold in the UK, it's cold back in London. I come here and it's 10 degrees in London, it's 30 degrees here. I still try to get out for a run. So it just makes me appreciate what I've got.
All right. Well, with that, we'll take a short break here. You stay tuned. We have a few more interviews lined up. And remember, Prachi is still at it, breaking carbs.
Cities and empires.
These nights are always special.
From kings to contenders.
A night that is set up for heroes.
They all chase one thing.
And this is the Champions League for you.
It's more than silver.
What a night for football.
More than glory.
Unbelievable.
It's the cup that rules them all. Watch the UEFA Champions League live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
Sony Sports Network presents Sports Ka Blockbuster Season.
जी आज तेज कर रहा क्रिकेट के लिए हो जाइए तैयार.
Cristiano Ronaldo,
Harry Kane.
Sony Sports Network Boom. Sony Sports Network Boom.
जारी रहेगा बिग बी के जन्मदिन का बिग सेलिब्रेशन.
आज खुश तो बहुत होगी तुम, जो आज तक तुम्हारी मंदिर की सीढ़ियां नहीं चढ़ा, जिसने आज तक कभी तुम्हारे सामने सर नहीं झुकाया, जिसने आज तक कभी तुम्हारे सामने हाथ नहीं फैलाया, वो आज तुम्हारे सामने खड़ा.
कल रात 9 बजे सोनी एंटरटेनमेंट टेलीविजन और सोनी लिव पर. As the two giants of world cricket clash, witness a high voltage white ball series.
Oh, bowled him. Boundaries are flying at the moment. That has been an extraordinary.
New Zealand versus England starts Saturday 18th October live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live. Sony Sports Network presents Cricket Blockbuster Season.
Sony Sports Network.
Wow, what a game of cricket we're having. What a beauty.
Sony Sports.
What an incredible morning so far. We've spoken to a few dignitaries. We've also had the breaking carbs. We have had our elite athletes taking on the field and smashing it. And now we've got another dignitary who joins us this morning. It's V. Vedanta, the Managing Director and CEO of IDFC Bank. He's just finished at 10K and he's in the studio with us. Well, hello and welcome.
Thank you, Rudima.
Good morning.
Tim, nice to see you.
And you. Lovely to see you again. And as usual, sweaty after having done a race.
Of course. Yeah, it's so thrilling to be in every race, and every race is a new race, you know.
Did you enjoy yourself out there this morning, though?
Well, like 40,000 people on the road, it's just something else.
Oh, what an incredible journey. We were just putting that into perspective. We started from 19,000 in 2005. Here we've got 40,000. You're such a strong partner of the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon, especially the 20th anniversary. What do you see this growth like?
According to me, it's a great unifier, actually. You know, first of all, it motivates our employees, but that's one part of the story. But a great unifier, you know, I believe, 28 states, every state, every union territory is participating in this race. So I really see it as like a very national unifier, and to bring sports to the mainstream in this country is a big thing, because India is making so many strides on so many fields, but sport shouldn't be left behind.
I think when the dust has settled from this weekend, you know, there's so much to celebrate and so many things to look at and dissect. Probably the most positive thing will be the increase in women's participation. You know,
oh, yeah,
about
absolutely.
20. So there were 85 in the first year out of 15,000, less than 1%. Now it's 25%. I mean, 10,000 women, 9 or 10,000 women.
That's quite something, right? And actually, ProCam is doing a really great job. I think they're really making an effort. Our bank is making an effort. We actually ran a special campaign asking for women to participate in this race because we want them to be fit as well. So, and they are. You can see it. You're right. 10,000 participants, 25% is some achievement, some progress actually. So, we're very thrilled about the women participation. We're thrilled about men participation as well. Everyone needs to be fit. We're very thrilled about you know, the states thing and you know and bringing it all together.
Well, you've been such an incredible part of marathons altogether. In fact, I would like to tell our viewers that we were just in conversation and he said that the next marathon will be your 35th marathon.
35th road race, like he called it, yeah, half and full put together. But like, I started running in 2004, so it's been like 20 years, but I don't think I've missed a single year.
What keeps you motivated? And you know, a lot of people would ask this, not today maybe because they've seen a lot of stories around it, but you have such a strong role of responsibility at the IDFC First Bank, and still you find the time to do this? How do you make some time?
I don't know, everybody, I think it's a little bit of figuring out the time, but I think it also brings a lot of discipline. So, you know you got to run the race in January, so 4 months before that, you just have to be disciplined, and then I think it steadies our life because our whole cycle about work, run, fitness, and by the way, being fit also makes us more effective at work.
Right. Well, breaking barriers and how? Well, with that, we also have Adil Sumariwala joining us. Let's find out what he has to say.
Adil, how proud does it make you to see the Indian athletes unleashing their true potential thanks to Vedanta half marathon?
So as you know, we've been doing very well in the last few years in middle and long distance running. I think the Vedanta half marathon and the other marathons across the country have contributed to building that culture. And today we have not one, two, we have a whole bench strength of athletes who are doing very, very well in middle and long distance.
How much do you think Carl Lewis's presence will inspire the generation of runners you are seeing here?
I think any legend like that would inspire kids, and when you hear their stories, when you hear the different things they've done, what they've been through, how they overcame obstacles to win medals, I think it's a great inspiration for children.
And Indian athletics is going from strength to strength, yeah, what?
No, see, it's going strength to strength because 15 years ago we put a plan in place. We had a two-strategy plan, a grassroots level and an elite plan, and we worked both simultaneously and then created the pipeline. So if you look at Neeraj, you look at Duti Chand, you look at Hima Das, you look at any of them, they've all come through this program. So I think something has worked, and when we started off, we had 8 medals in the Asian Games. Today we have 29 medals. We have 3 medals in Commonwealth Games. Today we have 8 medals. We had no medals in the Olympic Games. We have 2 medals. So I think it's a matter of time, and it takes 3 to 4 Olympic cycles for performance to come. And I'm sure that in future we're going to do even better.
Thank you, Adil.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Well, indeed, the Indian athletics has come a long way. We've witnessed what it is capable of at the Olympics. We still have a long way to go there. We must still have V. Vedanthan here with us. Talking about breaking barriers, the Indian athletics has broken a few barriers, but many more barriers to be broken. But how does this theme that we have for this year, which is breaking barriers since 2005, resonate with you and the Delhi running community?
I think it's a big break for Delhi because it just brings Delhi people to the street. I think good for India as well. I'm really thrilled for India because, you know, we're not a sporting nation, so to say, but I think this is bringing us to the international stage. And that's a really big thing. And, you know, acclaimed people like himself, you're an Olympian yourself, right, Tim? So tell us, you're a 5,000 meter, 10,000 meter. So to have Olympians like him come and talk to us, it's very motivating.
I thought it was interesting what Adil was saying there about it's the long game, you know, 3 or 4 Olympic cycles to make progress. And you do have to be patient about it. I mean, you can break barriers, you can smash through barriers, but actually sometimes you punch through them and just keep going once you're through the barrier at a nice steady pace. It's not explosive necessarily.
Yeah. So you can tell us a thing or two about that. But really, but thanks so much, folks. It's Tim. It's a great honor to see you once again. And really nice, wonderful.
And we're also graced by the Chief Minister of Delhi. And it's good to see all the dignitaries here lining up. So many dignitaries who come to grace the occasion, who are supporting the runners, who are supporting not just the sport, but also the spirit of Delhi. And we've spoken to a few. We might have her as well. We'll get a word from her. But having said that, and coming back to the legends who've been associated with the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon, we spoke about Tim. The fact that Carl Lewis is the international ambassador of the event. What does it make for the event? When you've got a name like Carl Lewis, who's the athlete of the century, what does it say about the event?
I mean, it just raises the profile to another level that you can't really. Carl Lewis is Carl Lewis, right? There's nobody else like him. So it just raises the profile, motivates everybody, and I think it just gives goosebumps to people who meet him and say, wow, we're in his company.
Right. Well, he was here in the studio with us. He did say that India should be all set to host an Olympics. Maybe that will change the game even further, or at least accelerate the process. But what we see here is the Chief Minister of Delhi, Srimati Rekha Gupta, who is here in attendance and supporting all the runners here. The Great Delhi Run is about to take way. We've also witnessed the elite runners this morning. We've seen the champions with disability run, and there you go. It's the start of the fun element of today, the Great Delhi Run. 14,705 participants, a lot of cheering coming here from the studio as well. And the beauty about this run is that not just inspiration and, you know, adrenaline and self-discipline that takes center stage, but also what we see right now, the Golf Foundation. We will see many of those other causes that will take center stage. We will keep talking about it. But the beauty is the fact that every cause that you stand for, running becomes a medium to profess it.
That's true, actually. You know, the people who are staying fit, you know, they do well in all spheres. You know, they're mentally fit, they're just more excited, they're walking on air. It just pumps them up all through.
Improves your quality of life. But we were talking earlier about how, you know, if you're going to do a run like this, whether it's the half marathon, 10K, a full marathon in Mumbai, whatever, why not run for charity? Why not run for a cause? And actually, it's great to see so many causes being given a platform here today, as well as people. And the main thing, I suppose, is that all these individuals are improving their health at the same time.
That's absolutely true, actually. I think it's an opportunity. People need an occasion. People want to contribute. You know, I contribute, everybody contributes. But it's an occasion, and occasion brings it together, right? It might be latent back of a mind that I must contribute to some cause, but, you know, these brings it all together.
Has it changed your life becoming a runner? Are there aspects of your life that have changed because you run a few times a week?
Well, I don't think that I'm never unwell. I'm never sick. I think it just makes a difference.
Is that right?
Never. Hardly ever.
But you're very seldom sick.
Practically, I can count on my fingers in the last maybe 30 years that I must have been sick or something like that.
Redeemer, you've got a reason to run now.
I've got a reason to run, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, you do a bit, don't you? You do run.
Thanks, Tim. But what are some lessons of leadership, probably, that running has taught you?
Well, I don't think so hard about these things, but I think that it brings the team together. That's a very big thing. And I think, you know, I've been running since my ICICI. I was working with ICICI Bank for like maybe 10 years. I started at that time. So through that time and through the early organization, now with IDFC, there are like thousands of people who, you know, who've been with me in this race and who see me publicly and also take up to running. I think it just influences a lot of people positively. And that's what I think about it.
It indeed has. We see a wave of energy here. Talking about a wave of energy, Prachi is down there. What have you got for us, Prachi?
Well, Ridhima, I must tell you, Delhi has shown up in style and they are here to also give you a message. So, sir, why are you dressed the way you're dressed?
I am from Maharashtra, madam. और मैं महाराष्ट्र में जो विदर्भ प्रांत है वो विदर्भ प्रांत एक मागासलेला बोलते हैं उसको, दुष्कालग्रस्त बोलते हैं उसको, यो प्रांत से मैं आता हूँ। और वहाँ पे जो किसान लोग हैं वो किसान लोगों को बहुत नेचुरल जो रहते, बारिश रहती है, धूप रहती है, उसका सामना करना पड़ता है। और उसकी वजह से जो शेतकरी रहते, फार्मर रहते, वो सुसाइड कर लेते हैं, वो सुसाइड कर लेते हैं। और उस सुसाइड न करने की वजह से मैं वो किसान को रिप्रेजेंटेटिव करने के लिए इस दिल्ली मैराथन में दौड़ने के लिए आ रहा हूँ। उनके प्रति प्रेम जताने के लिए मैं आ रहा हूँ यहाँ।
Thank you so much for choosing us, choosing to speak on issues like that. Well, Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon, Great Delhi Run is not only about fun, it's also about seriousness and message.
Thank you so much, Prachi. That's a very grave cause. Actually, what happened in Vidarbha was truly a tragedy where the farmers started committing suicide because of the drought, basically. And that's what he's standing for. He's standing in support of the farmers in Vidarbha. But plenty more such runners you'll see in the Great Delhi Run, where it is just much more, it is more than a sport. And there's just a sea of humanity there that we see there. The wave of color, the wave of energy, the wave of human emotion and human endeavor and determination this morning.
That's fantastic. I mean, if you want to go around again, there's plenty of time.
I know. I agree. I mean, it's so tempting to go around, yeah.
I tell you what, I'd love to be out there having a jog. I mean, I'll probably go for a jog this afternoon. I'll get it over and done with this morning. That looks fantastic.
So, Tim, there should be at least one run where you're not commentating, you're out there.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it.
I wouldn't know where to start with that many people in view. I'm used to commentating on 20 elite athletes. You're 200 in shot right now.
Well, a little less than 15,000 people, just to put some numbers. You're talking about the number of people out there, a little less than 15,000. But look at them, really and thoroughly, really enjoying that bit of the morning. It's all of Delhi coming together. It's so good to see that Delhi stands and, the rest of the country has come out in support of a sport like running. We have spoken about the community feeling that we get out of running, but if you just have to talk about how it inspires the next generation when leaders like you take on center stage and lead from the front, what kind of impact it has on the next generation?
I really believe that when people start early in the, let me say, ideally with the kind of lifestyle people have, I think people starting early will be a great thing. 20s is kind of okay. Even if they start 30s, it's fine. But I think the discipline in the 30s and 40s is very important. Otherwise, they go out to they go out to a drink and they have a lot of alcohol in the body, and they just make a mess of it. So I think running will bring some purity to the body.
We're truly celebrating the joy of participatory sport and how it can change your life. We've got Prachi with another interview. Let's see what Prachi's got. Down to you.
Well, with the start of Great Delhi Run, the fun has grown multifold. We are here with a set of friends who will tell us what are they feeling about the race. So, ma'am, if you had to describe this place and the vibe in 3 words, what will be those words?
This place is amazing. It's full of energy and I love it. I love it being here.
Are we loving it? Sorry? Are we loving it?
Yes, so I'm loving it a lot.
People are having fun.
They indeed are. The Great Delhi Run is all about that, but it is also about telling yourself, for those who've picked up their shoes for the first time, that I can do this and I don't know how far is it going to take me. We see Carl Lewis also having a bit of fun there and supporting the athletes.
You know what's great? It's 7 minutes past 9 on a Sunday morning and 40,000 people have got out and exercised. I mean, that is just brilliant. Get it over and done with. You can go back and have a nice juice with your breakfast after this. It changes your whole day. It puts a different complexion on your whole day.
Indeed, absolutely. I think they are having a great time. It's great to see Carlos out there. He's having a nice time. So I'll take your leave, friends. It's a pleasure being here with all of you. It's really an amazing studio. I enjoyed being with all of you.
Is there a message that you'd like to give to everyone who's watching us and not yet taken on the sport? What would it be?
Well, there's no better feeling, and you got to come there to experience it. This is something thrilling and will bring a lot of discipline to our lives, which I think is very important.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vaidyanathan. Thanks a lot for having us.
Thank you so much.
And thanks for the support.
Thank you, Tim, Vaidya.
Thank you. Lovely seeing you again.
Lovely seeing you there.
Bye. Thank you.
The Great Delhi Run. The sea of humanity that we see here this morning in Delhi. You have people from all walks of life. You have people from committed professionals who come in here, make the time, practice for it for days to come, work on their fitness. And look at that guy. He's an absolute rock star with his hair flying right behind him. But he's there. He's there to conquer the field. It's good. It brings out character in you.
He's moving through. I mean, he looks like he's one of those runners who starts at the back and gets sponsored for every athlete he passes. Some people do that in marathons. They make sure they're the last to cross the finish line.
Right, we've got Prachi there again with another good story. What have you got for us, Prachi?
All right, so I have Deepika with me. Deepika, how are you enjoying the race?
Oh, I'm having a great time. I'm loving the energy of the place. I'm loving the crowds, and I think it's fantastic.
Okay, and Vedanta is completing 20 years of their marathon this year. How has been the experience for you so far?
Superb. Yeah, we're here year after year, and it's always a privilege to watch these people who are so committed to having fun, to being fit, and just enjoying them.
Well, you look really glamorous, ma'am. Did you dress up for the event?
Yes, I did, absolutely. In a special t-shirt.
Anything you would like to say to the fellow women out there watching you?
I think it's wonderful to see so many women participating. And hats off to every single woman who is here in the spirit of the marathon.
Thank you so much. Well, the feminine power is setting the records and the spirit high.
Thanks a lot, Prachi. And that's quite a strong message for all the women who are watching as well as participating. A long way that we've come. We've re-emphasized the fact that 85 women participated in 2005. We've come a long way, more than 9,000 women now. But very quickly to take you through what the Great Delhi Run course looks like. It's about 5 kilometers through the heart of the capital. They will pass India Gate through the ceremonial boulevards, finishing at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, right here where we're sitting, where our studio is. And this is Delhi's biggest celebration of fitness and community. And I think a bit more than that. 40,000 people. We've talked about the growth that the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon has witnessed. What stood out for you of what you witnessed this morning in the 20th edition, Tim?
I think probably the growth in it, the scale, the way it's just increasing year on year. Every single year it's getting bigger and better. And the continuation of great racing in the elite races, the two extremes, the masses who are just out for a jog or a walk, and the elites who rock it around the city.
Right. We're also joined by a very senior journalist here at the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon. It's Boria Majumdar. We caught up with him. Let's find out his take on it.
Boria, great to have you here. 20th edition of Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon. A big moment of breaking barriers.
Massive moment for breaking barriers. I mean, 20 years for a particular event with 40,000 people. I've been doing this for about 5 years. Year on year, I've seen participative sport growing in this country. Healthier lifestyle, healthier living. When you connect it to an Olympic bid that this country wants to do, I think it's great science. The kind of enthusiasm and vibe that I've seen has been amazing.
Delhi, the runners, what's...
Champions with disability, people with disability, senior citizens run from, young people to old. As I said, the vibe, the passion, the enthusiasm and the resilience, all of it come together in breaking barriers.
Thanks, Boria, and we both hope that it grows in the coming years.
100% it will, because now that the revolution has started, there's no stopping it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's only the beginning. Now, Prachi there, getting us some quick conversations with the participants. Over to you, Prachi.
Well, I have a couple of friends here who are really enjoying their time on the track. Well, why did you guys decide to join the Great Delhi Run?
The weather, the vibe, and everything great that can happen in Delhi is happening today. That's why I'm here.
Well, you heard the man. Everything that can happen, which is great in Delhi, it's happening right now. So, why did you guys come today specifically? Is this your first time coming?
Yes, this is my first marathon, and this is my first ever event like this.
What about you, ma'am? Is this your first event?
Yeah, this is my first event. I'm liking the vibes. I'm liking the crowd. The entire India has for marathon. It's really lovely.
Well, people are enjoying their time. I can tell you for sure. Well, be on a lookout because there's more coming.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I actually kind of envy Prachi because she's right there in the middle feeling it. We're right now caught up in a studio, but good to see that. Talking about participatory sport, we heard what Boria had to say there, that participatory sport is just a revolution, just the beginning, long way to go. Where do you see the future of Indian running?
Do you know, I mean, I know it's been going for 20 years, this race, just like the Mumbai Marathon, but I don't think India has scratched the surface yet. I think there are... the next 20 years, I think it'll grow several-fold from where it is now. India is a nation of, what, 1.5, 1.6 billion people, and there's 1 billion runners on the planet, by the way, but I actually think that India can produce hundreds of millions of runners. You know, we all know it's the most accessible sport. It's the easiest sport to do. We're all born able to do it. You don't have to learn to play a game with a racket or have to rent a facility or anything. It's the easiest sport of all to do. And it's fun, and it's sociable, and it's healthy, and it's relatively cheap. And you end up with all of that, and you want to say, well, what's not to like? Why wouldn't people run?
So what does India need to do to change the approach?
I don't think it needs to change very much, actually. I think it's all doing, whether it's IDFC First Bank or if it's any other corporate that's helping push the along and increase the momentum. I think it's doing everything right at the moment. Companies like Procam are doing an incredible job. You know, these races will continue to grow in number. There's over 1,000 races in India at the moment, some of them marathons, some of them 5Ks and very simple little village jogs. But it's all going in the right direction. And I think it'll sort of be a light bulb shaped growth. I think it's like that at the moment, and it'll go like that, and it'll get bigger and bigger. And I can't see anything that's going to stop it.
Fingers crossed. Well, we'll take a short break here. You don't go anywhere. We still have plenty of action on the other side. The Delhi has just started to enjoy the great Delhi run, and we'll get you plenty more from there.
Across cities and empires.
These nights are always special.
From kings to contenders.
A night that is set up for heroes.
They all chase one thing.
And this is the Champions League for you.
It's more than silver.
What a night for football.
More than glory.
Unbelievable.
It's the cup that rules them all.
Watch the UEFA Champions League live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
जारी रहेगा बिग बी के जन्मदिन का बिग सेलिब्रेशन।
आज खुश तो बहुत होगी तुम, जो आज तक तुम्हारे मंदिर की सीढ़ियां नहीं चढ़ा, जिसने आज तक कभी तुम्हारे सामने सर नहीं झुकाया, जिसने आज तक कभी तुम्हारे सामने हाथ नहीं फैलाया, वो आज तुम्हारे सामने खड़ा है।
कल रात 9 बजे सोनी एंटरटेनमेंट टेलीविजन और सोनी लिव पर सोनी स्पोर्ट्स नेटवर्क प्रेजेंट्स क्रिकेट ब्लॉकबस्टर सीजन।
What a game of cricket we're having. What a beauty.
Sony Sports Network.
As the two giants of world cricket clash, witness a high-voltage white ball series.
Oh, bowled him. Boundaries are flying at the moment. That has been an extraordinary.
New Zealand versus England starts Saturday, 18th October, live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
Watch the European qualifiers. Latvia versus England, Wednesday, 15th October, 12:15 a.m. Live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
Across cities and empires.
These nights are always special.
From kings to contenders.
A night that is set up for heroes.
They all chase one thing.
And this is the Champions League for you.
It's more than silver.
What a night for football.
More than glory.
Unbelievable.
It's the cup that rules them all.
Watch the UEFA Champions League live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live. Watch the European qualifiers live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
Hello Hello and welcome back. We're in the final stretch of our broadcast and we've been celebrating 20 years of the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon under the theme Breaking Barriers since 2005. And we've seen some barriers being broken this morning. Well, it has been an incredible morning. Now, when you go back and when the hangama that has been happening since the morning takes a bit of a slow time, what would be that one thing that remains with you after the 20th edition?
Probably just the fact that the advance of running in India is continuing apace. I think it's great that each time I come back, I see these races getting bigger. Here in the capital city, it's getting bigger. There's more joy in the air. There's more people smiling. I mean, you know, you go to countries where running has been around for 50, 70 years, New York, London, places like that, and hundreds, thousands of competitors wear fancy dress, the most ridiculous costumes. I think that's the next stage here, where people start turning it into a massive party. It's already a bit of a street party, but actually it can get bigger and better and explode in something really, really exciting. And then you'll get more youngsters involved. You'll get more spectators on the side of the streets, because you don't see many spectators here in India. People stay at home and maybe watching us on TV, I don't know. But actually, you've got a race like New York and London, and the runners are going through a tunnel of people the whole way. It's fantastic, and that's what is the next stage here, I think.
Well, we've been talking about a lot of runners who've also inspired us throughout their journey ever since they took up the sport. And one such runner is Anil Korvi. Well, he has been a podium finisher here at the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon with 450 races under his belt. He now runs an academy called Runaholics.
In Ambernath, Maharashtra, kids grow up chasing a dream on dusty fields. For them, Kho-Kho isn't just a game, it's a shot at breaking free. Anil Korvi was one of them. A young boy with quick feet, big dreams, and no roadmap. Back in the 90s, there were no scouts, no supplements. Most of the children didn't even know what a protein bar was. But Anil ran. And he found the 10K. As a Kho-Kho player, he thought speed was his edge. He finished his first 10K in just over 30 minutes. He couldn't afford the 70 rupee bus fare to the event, but he made the newspapers that week. Running did overnight what 17 years of Kho-Kho couldn't. It changed his name. It changed his life. As he pushed into longer distances, something else started building. Discipline, grit, clarity. He etched his name into the India Book of Records with an audacious Bombay to Goa relay run, because he was curious to see how far he could go. The same path gave him the power to provide a job in the railways, a way to support his family, and eventually, a purpose. He built the Runaholics Academy to pass it on, to help others like him, young, hungry, stuck. Today he trains police aspirants, army aspirants and athletes, among many more. He builds futures, quietly, powerfully. He didn't stop at medals. He knew what running had given him, so he gave it back and turned every mile into a message that you can rise, you can run, you can belong.
What a force of inspiration there, Anil Korvi. He has been here in the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon inspiring the next generation. But, you know, Tim, we've heard so many stories about all these runners coming from humbler places where they didn't have formal training and no good shoes, no protein bars, nothing. But if I had to just ask you that in spite of running being such an easy sport, how does a formal training change the game for you? Does it secure you from more injuries, or what happens?
No, I think you get more return for every kilometre you run in training. In other words, yes, anybody can say, well, I want to be a good runner, so there I'd better start running a few kilometres. And you go out and run 5 kilometres a day or 10 kilometres a day or whatever it may be. But actually, if you structure your training, then you get a much better return. So, for example, you should be training perhaps every third day, doing something harder, a series of hard strides, maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes long. And then the other 2 days, you run easy, you recover from that. And it makes life more interesting, makes the running more interesting, because running in itself, just going out and running for half an hour, some people would call it boring. My own kids don't like running. You know, both their parents were international athletes. They don't like running. They find it boring. So different horses for different courses, of course. But actually, yeah, good training gives you so much more feedback and reward for the work you put in. So I think that's the main thing about coaching. But one thing I loved about that was the phrase runaholics. I think that's just brilliant. And last week I was working in Romania, in Eastern Europe, and the guy there has come up with a phrase, and he's labelled it everywhere, so you can't nick it. Rendezvous. It's just a very, very clever play on words.
It indeed is. But also, you know, you spoke about it can get a little boring to watch running, but it wasn't this morning. It's because the views were spectacular. It was so good to see, of course, the sea of humanity and the way it was shot. So some beautiful pictures came our way that were shown in our broadcast as well. And it is credit to NBCC building. So thank you for that. Now we've got another interview coming our way. We've got Meenakshi Lekhi joining us, former member of the parliament. Let's go see what she's got to say.
Ma'am, good morning.
Good morning.
A historical moment, 20 years of Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon has put Delhi on a global map. Your thoughts?
No, very proud of the fact that Delhi comes out in such large numbers, and when it started and how it has grown, the numbers have not just doubled but multiple times. And during this period, I think the biggest change, since you've called it breaking barriers, the biggest barrier is participation of women. So participation of women has increased. We've broken barriers, and we know the times when people will end up in whatever. Now today everybody is attired for the race, and everyone's coming out. People from all age groups are participating. Senior citizens are here, including people with special abilities are here. So I have virtually seen this grow into the size and enormity that it has become today. So my best wishes to the Vedanta Half Marathon, and best wishes to Delhi. Keep participating, because it's more important to participate than to win races. There will be winners, but there will be far more number of the people who participate, and to get up in the morning wearing your sports shoes and getting out is more important. So I'm very proud of everyone who's participated, proud of Delhi, and proud of marathon runners.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is indeed so encouraging to see so many women participating, 85 in 2005 to more than 9,000 in 2025. With that, we also have Sarabjit Singh with us, the Indian athlete. Let's see if he's enjoyed this morning here in Delhi.
सरबजीत, शूटिंग में मेंटल प्रिपरेशन ज़रूरी होती है, लेकिन एक मेंटल प्रिपरेशन के लिए फिजिकली फिट होना कितना ज़रूरी है?
फिजिकली फैक्ट शूटिंग में बहुत ज़्यादा मैटर करता है। एंड सही बताऊं तो मैं जब से मैंने शूटिंग स्टार्ट करी है, तब से मैं फिजिकली, मेंटली और इतना ज़्यादा परफेक्ट हूँ कि मैं मैच से पहले जब जाऊँ तो मेरे को अपने माइंड बिल्कुल क्लियर होता है कि आज मैंने मैच में करना क्या जाके। सेकंड, मैं जब भी सुबह उठता हूँ, मैं सबसे पहले रनिंग, मेडिटेशन, योगा, इन पे बहुत ज़्यादा करता हूँ, और मैं ये स्टार्टिंग से करता आया हूँ। और मैं आगे सभी को बोलूँगा कि योगा, मेडिटेशन अपनी हेल्थ के लिए इतना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। इससे आपकी मेंटल स्टेबिलिटी इतनी ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग बन जाएगी कि जो आप विजुअलाइज करते हो वो चीज़ आपको रियलिटी में भी मिल सकती है। और मैं सही बताऊँ तो इसके रिज़ल्ट मेरे को काफ़ी बार भी मिले हैं। मैंने ओलंपिक्स के टाइम पे काफ़ी विजुअलाइज किया, और मेरे शोल्डर इंजरी भी थी, तब भी मैंने इतना विजुअलाइज किया। मेरी 6 महीने के लिए शूटिंग बंद हो गई थी, क्योंकि मैं पिछले उठा नहीं पा रहा था। मैं जस्ट हाफ में भी नहीं जा पाता था शूटिंग में ना। तो उस टाइम पे मैंने विजुअलाइज किया, मेडिटेशन की, योगा करी, तो शूटिंग को ही मैं विजुअलाइज करता था अंदर ही अंदर कि हाँ मैं ऐसे करनी है। मैंने शूटिंग में शॉट ऐसे फायर करता था, पहले मेरे से विजुअलाइज हो नहीं पाता था, तो मैं धीरे धीरे उस फॉर्म में आया। तो वो कंटिन्यू मैंने 1 साल करा, उसके बाद मेरे को रिजल्ट्स दिखे तो वो काफ़ी अच्छे थे।
कार्ल लुइस के साथ मुलाकात कैसी रही?
बहुत अच्छा, बहुत मज़ा आया। मतलब आज का जो इवेंट है, इवेंट के अंदर इतनी एनर्जी मिली मेरे को उनसे भी, और बातचीत भी हुई हमारी। तो उन्होंने बताया कि मेरे इतने मेडल्स थे ओलंपिक्स में, 7 गोल्ड और 1 सिल्वर। तो इतनी एनर्जी और वो सारा कुछ देख के मेरे को काफ़ी अच्छा लगा और मज़ा आया काफ़ी, नो डाउट।
थैंक यू वेरी मच।
थैंक यू।
Well, Sarabjit Singh talking about the importance of mental clarity in sport, and we've seen about it and we've talked about it in running as well. And now in the studio we're joined by the Honorable Chief Minister of Delhi, Srimati Rekha Gupta. वेलकम मैम।
नमस्कार।
नमस्कार, बहुत अच्छा लगा कि आप हमारे साथ स्टूडियो में जुड़ी। हम आपको देख रहे थे किस तरीके से आप सपोर्ट कर रही थी सारे की सारी एथलीट्स को हु वर पार्टिसिपेटिंग इन द ग्रेट दिल्ली रन। किस तरीके की सुबह रही है दिल्ली के लिए?
शानदार, जानदार। आज सच में मुझे ऐसा लगा कि दिल्ली के अंदर कितना एनर्जी है और हजारों लोग जब सड़कों पे अपने देश के लिए और एक अच्छे नोबल कॉज के लिए चलते हैं, दौड़ते हैं और जहाँ एज इज़ नो बार, आप बच्चा भी है, युवा भी है, लेडीज़ भी है, जेंट्स भी है और फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम आई हैव सीन लॉट्स ऑफ लेडीज़ ओवर हेयर। मतलब इतना सारा लोग देख कर के इतना एनर्जी से भरा हुआ स्माइल के साथ में सुबह सुबेरे, मतलब बहुत ही आनंद आया और आई रियली थैंक्स वेदांता ग्रुप। उन्होंने इतना अच्छा ये हाफ मैराथन दिल्ली में ऑर्गेनाइज़ किया फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम और आई एम वेरी हैप्पी। और एक बहुत ही सुंदर कॉज भी है और हम सब मिल कर के इस हाफ मैराथन को आगे भी ऐसे ही दिल्ली और देश के अलग अलग हिस्सों से जोड़े। आई विश दैट।
मैम, ऐसा लग रहा है कि ये जिस तरीके का स्पोर्ट है रनिंग अब सीरियस होता जा रहा है हमारे देश में। जिस तरीके की पार्टिसिपेशन हमने इस बार देखी है, आपने महिलाओं की बात की, उसमें भी काफ़ी बड़ा सर्ज आया है। अब जब ये एक सीरियस बिजनेस होता जा रहा है ओलंपिक्स में और साथ ही साथ एशियन गेम्स में हमारे ओलंपियंस ने ट्रैक एंड फील्ड में भी बहुत कुछ किया है, तो किस तरीके का काम हमारा गवर्नमेंट अब कर सकता है रनिंग को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए?
यस, ऑफ कोर्स। जब से आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने देश में फिटनेस को लेकर के, स्पोर्ट्स को लेकर के एक बहुत ही एनकरेजिंग एटमॉस्फेयर डेवलप किया है, सरकार की बहुत सारी पॉलिसी बदली है और बहुत सारी फैसिलिटीज़ जो हमारे स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन्स को मिलनी चाहिए और फिटनेस को भी इतना अच्छा उन्होंने टारगेट किया है कि हर व्यक्ति को फिट होना चाहिए। योगा को उन्होंने इंटरनेशनली प्लेस किया। आज योगा से लेकर के स्पोर्ट्स तक, रन तक एक अच्छा पॉजिटिव एटमॉस्फेयर देश में डेवलप हो रहा है और मैं सोचती हूँ कि फिटनेस अगर कोई देश में हो, हर व्यक्ति यदि स्वस्थ हो तो देश समृद्ध हो सकता है। तो ये मोदी जी का एक जो नियम है, एक जो फार्मूला है पूरी कंट्री के लिए, उससे हम सब लोग बहुत आगे जाने वाले हैं।
जी मैम, एक्चुअली पूरे के पूरे ब्रॉडकास्ट के टाइम पे हमने कई ऐसी कहानियां दिखाई हैं अपने दर्शकों को जो कि बहुत इंस्पायरिंग है, क्योंकि जिस तरीके के बैकग्राउंड से वो आते हैं, जहाँ पे बहुत सारे बैरियर्स उन्होंने खुद ब्रेक किए, ना सिर्फ बैकग्राउंड्स के बट एज के भी। और एक ऐसी कहानी हम आपको दिखाना चाहेंगे, ये दामोदर प्रसाद जी की कहानी है। He is a senior citizen athlete and he's been gunning at the sport ever since. Let's take a look at what he's got in store for us. जी, दामोदर प्रसाद, हम इनके बारे में बात कर रहे थे एंड जिस तरीके का वो इंस्पिरेशन लाते हैं, आज भी वो पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे थे इन द वेदांता दिल्ली हाफ मैराथन। 70 years old, spent 50 years serving the nation through the railway mail service, and when retirement came, he didn't slow down, he started running. And with no apps, no fancy gear, just chalk mark on his wall, he tracked his progress. And after taking up this sport after retirement and giving in his all, just take a look at the man. He's 70 years old and he looks so fit. एक गजब की कहानी अपने आप में है कि आप सरकार के लिए आपने इतने साल काम किया और फिर अब कम्युनिटी के लिए कर रहे हैं।
ऑफ कोर्स, मैंने जो देखा यहाँ मिक्स क्राउड, मतलब इतना बुजुर्ग लोग भी थे, फैमिलीज भी थी और यंगस्टर्स और इवन लेडीज विद देयर किड इन देयर हैंड, मतलब बहुत ही आनंद आया। और ट्रेडिशनल ड्रेसेस में भी लोग यहाँ आए हैं और हर व्यक्ति दौड़ना चाहता है, देश के लिए दौड़ना चाहता है, अपने लिए दौड़ना चाहता है, प्रोग्रेस के लिए दौड़ना चाहता है। और एक जो बहुत ही नोबल कॉज वेदांता ने जोड़ा है कि रन फॉर ज़ीरो हंगर, ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा मोटिव है जो हम पूरे देश को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए और जीरो हंगर पे लेके आने के लिए हम सब मिल कर के दौड़ रहे हैं। दिस इज़ रियली वेरी नाइस।
मैम, आपके साथ हम बातचीत जारी रखेंगे, लेकिन एक और इंटरव्यू आ रहा है मैथ्यू चेरी की तरफ से, जानते हैं व्हाट दे हैव टू से।
Mr. Cherian, CSR plays quite an important role in promoting sports. Your views on that?
Yes, I was involved with the guidelines for the CSR committee, which is now in vogue, and we fought a battle to get sports into the CSR guidelines, and now it is there. It is important because we have to see that more and more people from socially excluded classes come into sports, and this is a wonderful way to sponsor it through CSR.
The Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon has seen a tremendous support when it comes to CSR, and we are seeing the results. Your views on that?
Yes, and actually more and more companies should come into sports, not only in this area but also in rural sports, because our talent lies there, and soon we'll be able to produce international stars from those areas.
Thank you, Mr. Cherian.
Thank you.
Matthew Cherian, former CEO, Help Age India, and he spoke about how CSR is a huge part of a Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon. And along with that, a lot of NGOs coming in support. बहुत सारे corporates भी support में आ रहे हैं. क्या कारण है? क्या दिख रहा है उन्हें इस sport में?
एक उज्जवल भविष्य, एक भारत का एक ऐसा सवेरा जो हर व्यक्ति देखना चाहता है. और आई थिंक कि 140 करोड़ लोग अब देश के लिए एसेट बनने जा रहे हैं. दे आर नॉट लाइबिलिटी नाउ. उन्हें लगता है कि हम भी अपने देश के लिए परफॉर्म कर सकते हैं, और शायद वही अपना एक छोटा सा इनपुट देने के लिए वो आज सुबह सवेरे यहाँ दौड़ रहे हैं. और हर व्यक्ति चाहता है कि देश की प्रोग्रेस के लिए, उसकी खुद की फिटनेस के लिए कुछ तो उसको करना चाहिए. और यही मोटिव लेकर के इतने सारे लोग जब एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे आते हैं, और जब हम कहते हैं कि भाई कुछ तो करिए. किसी एक शायर ने बड़ा अच्छा 2 लाइन बोला है कि भरा नहीं जो भावों से, बहती जिसमें रसधार नहीं, हृदय नहीं वो पत्थर है जिसमें स्वदेश का प्यार नहीं. तो जब हम देश के लिए कुछ करना चाहते हैं तो मुझे लगता है कि आप उनको एक मिशन दीजिए. लोग आते हैं, लोग जुड़ते हैं, और जुड़ते हैं चेहरे पे एक स्माइल लेकर के, खुशी के साथ, उमंग के साथ, और बहुत सारा उत्साह लेके.
जी, उस तरीके का उत्साह आज बिल्कुल दिख रहा है. लेकिन आपके फाइनल थॉट्स, वो सब, आज तो 40,000 से ज़्यादा लोग हैं यहाँ पर, बहुत सारी महिलाएं भी हैं. 85 था हमारा नंबर 2005 में, आज 9,000 से ज़्यादा है 2025 में. लेकिन वो जो अभी भी घर में बैठ के देख रहे हैं, अभी तक मैदान में आए नहीं, उनको आप क्या कहेंगे?
मैं तो पूरे देश को, पूरी दिल्ली को जगाना चाहती हूँ, और हम सबको उठना होगा, चलना होगा, दौड़ना होगा, तभी हमारा ये देश आगे बढ़ पाएगा. और सच मानिए आप, 140 करोड़ लोग रोजाना कुछ भी, थोड़ा सा भी, एक कदम भी देश के लिए कुछ करना चाहेंगे तो डेली हमारा देश 140 करोड़ कदम आगे बढ़ेगा, रोज बढ़ेगा, बढ़ता रहेगा.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot for inspiring us. The Honorable Chief Minister of Delhi right here, Srimati Rekha Gupta. Now let me show you the answers to the quiz that all of you have participated in. It's the Watch and Win quiz, where we asked you to scan the code this morning. The first question was, the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon is held in which month of the year? Well, this month. It's October. Now let me show you the next question and the answer to that. What is the ethos of the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon in its 20th anniversary? And it is breaking barriers since 2005. And we'll continue to do so. The next question, which edition of the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon is held in 2025? This is the 20th edition. Well, we'll be revealing the winners in our next segment. You stay tuned. We take a short break here. We will come back in a jiffy.
Across cities and empires,
These nights are always special.
from kings to contenders,
A night that is set up for heroes.
they all chase one thing.
And this is the Champions League for you.
It's more than silver,
What a night for football.
more than glory.
Unbelievable.
It's the cup that rules them all. Watch the UEFA Champions League live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
जारी रहेगा बिग बी के जन्मदिन का बिग सेलिब्रेशन.
आज खुश तो बहुत होगी तुम, जो आज तक तुम्हारे मंदिर की सीढ़ियां नहीं चढ़ा, जिसने आज तक कभी तुम्हारे सामने सर नहीं झुकाया, जिसने आज तक कभी तुम्हारे सामने हाथ नहीं फैलाया, वो आज तुम्हारे सामने खड़ा है.
कल रात 9 बजे सोनी एंटरटेनमेंट टेलीविजन और सोनी लिव पर.
Champion Qualifiers, live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
Sony Sports Network presents Cricket Blockbuster Season.
Wow, what a game of cricket we're having. What a beauty.
Sony Sports Network.
As the two giants of world cricket clash, witness a high-voltage white ball series.
Oh, bowled him. Boundaries are flying at the moment. That has been an extraordinary.
New Zealand versus England starts Saturday, 18th October, live on Sony Sports Network and Sony Live.
Welcome back. We're on the business end of our broadcast. It has been an incredible morning and we saved the best for the last. We've got Anil Singh here, MD ProCam, who's walked in like an absolute rock star because he's very, very happy with the event, with how it's flown in 20 years. And we've been given a sheet of paper to ask him questions, but we're going to just keep it aside because it's going to flow so naturally. Anil, you've got a lot of script with you.
Well, no, I've got some lovely people to thank, actually.
Oh, you But what does it take to do this for 20 years and to put up an event like this, of this magnitude?
Well, you know, it is the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon is the world's most prestigious half marathon. So let's start with that, and a big kudos to the city of Delhi and the people of Delhi. But what's really, what it takes every civic authority led by the wonderful Chief Minister Rekha ji, who you've just interviewed, and to have her leadership take us through this entire journey. And it's a very special year. And why do I call it special? Because 20 years of breaking barriers. We said we've been breaking barriers since 2005. And these are not just hollow words in terms of a marketing campaign, or like, it's not just, how do I put it? It's not just ethereal or surreal. We have broken barriers, and not one, two, but about 12 of them. From women participation, from moving up from 2% to 30%, 37%, from raising close to 100 crores, Delhi itself, in charity, which is phenomenal, for a 328 crores economic, socio-economic benefit to the city of Delhi. You know, you've got 100 nationalities on the start line. So, I mean, I can go on, and this is not about that. But this is what truly redefines, you know, I mean, that's what, to me, that's magic. And
here's the problem, I think, for you, Anil, and your brother Vivek, who have done this incredible job in these races for ProCam. I don't think you've scratched the surface yet of the number of runners that are out there who could run in these races.
Scratch the surface? We've not started scratching. I mean, leave it on the surface.
Well, as long as you're aware.
Yeah, because, look, today we have close to about 5 million registered runners in this nation, right? Running 1,100 timed races. So it's not a small, it's actually the second most sponsorship sport in the country after cricket. Yeah. It's 1,000 crores of barters and sponsorships. So it's a huge initiative now. And as you said, scratching, we are, wow. I mean, it's just 5 million out of a couple of billion.
There's a billion runners on the planet.
Yeah, so we've got a long way to go.
Anil, we can have a look at the results now.
Yes, let's take a look at the results. Open 10K results. You've got Kuldeep Kumar, who finished first. You have Navneet Rathore and Ankit Kumar. In women, Anupriti, Neha and Renu. Let's take a look at other results as well. The Open Half Marathon, what do you make of it, Tim?
Well, actually, 68.03. He could almost have been in the elite race. That's a great run. Shankar Swami, Ajit Bende, and then Bharat Bhushan. All on 68 minutes, very close together. They look covered by what, about 30 seconds. And then the women's side, Desi Kadila, on 1:24, that winning time. And here's that elite women's race. That finish was a spectacular, about a metre between those two. What a contrast. Lilian Narenga, very well known. She was the favourite, one of the fastest athletes in history. Biratu, totally unheard of. This race has unearthed an absolute diamond there for the Ethiopians.
That was a very competitive end. Biratu looked a little unhappy because she was leading in the final seconds when Lilian just pulled in the trigger and she finished first. Remember, it was her debut today, but Lilian, of course, the fan favorite, coming in and finishing first and takes that gold. Now, it has been an incredible journey for these women. We also spoke about the elite men, where you had Alex Matata, who completely devastated the rest of the field. But the women here getting the prize along with the Chief Minister of Delhi. All right, the international elite women results. What do you make of that timing, Tim?
Those are quick times. I mean, they're actually intrinsically slightly better than the men's race. That's very, very quick. 67 minutes today. Lilian Kazait-Rengaruk, a great champion. Lovely, lovely lady to Jachatsu. Melasiyum Beratsu, that's the new discovery today. Losing by 1 second. Mulat Tekle, fabulously quick as well indeed. 4 women under 68 minutes is quick on a warm morning. And that's the best of the Indian women. Seema winning by over 4 minutes. That was a spectacular run. I mean, she's banging on the door of world class for that time. And Ujjwala and Sanjivani Yadav, they're in second and third, both on 1:15. Good running again.
Interesting to see that Lily last.
There was a Gebrselassie in the race,
no,
yes.
No connection to the Gebrselassie.
No, it's a very common name. It's like Smith in England.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And here's how the international elite men's race.
That is some celebration.
I mean, that is. He's like, give it to me. And it calls for it is because there was nobody else in the radar who was competing with him. It was a massive surge, a massive lead that he had there.
Well, he took the initiative and he blew them away in the second half. It was a fabulous time. To go under 60 again on this warm morning was spectacular from Matata. He was a class apart today, although Tishaga there and James Kipkogai still ran well for second and third. And they will be back, I'm sure, for more next year. Remember that Matata was second last year. He lost by 1 second to Joshua Cheptegei. So he's come back and got it right.
Talking about making a comeback, he made quite the noise there today by dominating and devastating the field that was there. Alex Matata ran like a soul warrior, but kudos to the 3 winners. Alex Matata finishing first.
And Neil, you must be delighted to see these absolutely top runners like Matata and Tishaga and Kipkogai, because that is what goes around in the world of elite running. And you know, the media around the world will pick up those results.
I can't forget the time when we had 8 runners, when Eliud Kipchoge ran in 2016, if I'm not wrong. When just after the Rio Olympics, when I met him in Rio, and Eliud ran, we had 8 runners under the one-hour barrier. That must come something very special, if you remember that.
Oh, absolutely right, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, no, but that is great running this morning. To get on, I thought the first half was relatively slow. I didn't think they'd get under it. And the best of the Indians, well, that was a great run by Abhishek Pal. He turned down or rebutted several attacks, didn't he, in the second half of the race to win relatively comfortably eventually. And actually, if he'd known, I think he could have sprinted and got a personal best. He missed his PB by 10 seconds, that's all.
Yeah. We were talking about it. Tim was on broadcast, so he missed his personal best by a whisker. But incredible morning. We're celebrating the 20th anniversary, and we're talking about breaking barriers since 2005. When I had to talk to you about that one barrier that you have truly broken, you spoke about 12, but one that has really, really stuck to your heart. Which would it be?
You know, I wish there was a favorite, but there is no real favorite. I think the women. I think it's wonderful to see, you know, to think that 2% of, there are close to 160,000 women have crossed the finish line. In the main distance. I'm talking about in the main half marathon. We're not talking about a dream run or the Great Delhi run or anything of that sort. So I think that gives me, because when women lead, men follow, right? Isn't that true?
Absolutely.
And it's just wonderful. It changes the household. It changes the entire complexion of a family.
You know where it's going? Because I think the New York Marathon now is over 50% women.
There you go.
It's gone right over the line.
Right, and we are now 37% women.
Right.
So from 2% when we started, I think that gives me a real sense of pleasure. You know, to have someone like you lead the broadcast like this with one of the greatest commentators of all time. So it's fantastic to see you here in it. And that's, to me, I think, because I think they really redefine a complexion of a city or of a household, of the nation, actually. So it's just wonderful. To me, I think that's very special.
On behalf of women, I'd just like to say, we're only getting started. All right, we spoke about a quiz. We had a quiz running this morning. All of you participated. It was the Watch and Win quiz. And we've got the winners. They're with Prachi.
Well, chances are, if you have been watching us repeatedly and giving dedicatedly the answers, chances are your name is in the bowl. And to pick up the 5 lucky winners, I have Mr. Adil Sumariwala. He's also the Vice President at the World Athletics. We have him right here. Welcome, sir. You have to pick 5 lucky winners who've been watching us and giving the answers dedicatedly. Time is here for us to announce the first winner. And the winner is Devesh Khandelwal from Ghaziabad. I hope you're watching this, Devesh. Let's go with the next one. Sachin Bhatia from Noida. Congratulations, Sachin. The third person. Then we have Aditya Mangain from Delhi. Congratulations, Aditya. The fourth one. No, this is the fourth one, sir. You have two more lucky winners. Next up is Ankur Rena from Delhi again. Well, Delhi on the go. And the last and the final winner of the VDHM Watch and Win contest is Shashank Yadav from Delhi. Over to you, Ridhima.
Thank you so much, Prachi. Congratulations to all our winners. I hope you had fun. Easy questions, though. But what is your take on that?
Well, you know, I think it's the idea is to get more people, you know, running. It's great for people like us when we are watching it live and there's so much of energy and enthusiasm and passion. It's not a TV sport, let's be honest here. But we are trying to do our best to make sure that we capture the right moments. We let the world know this is happening right now. So come on in and join the telecast and small little quizzes where they get some nice prizes. So I think it's our effort to try and get people to get on the viewing the telecast a little bit more than we have the universe of.
Right, but Anil, you know, you spoke about the viewership of the sport, but I feel like it's transcended that because it's a $450 million industry going for social good. How have you managed to get...
Well, you know, it's not a cheap sport, let's put it that way. You know, when you're in the start line of the Vedanta Delhi half marathon, you'd be spending close to about 4 or 5 lakhs of rupees to get there.
Cheaper than triathlon, tennis, cricket. I mean, you need a pair of shoes and a t-shirt.
Not really.
And ideally some shorts.
Not really, because yes, for sure. I hope so. You wear shorts, but it's also your training, your travel, your hotels, your airlines, your gizmos, and all of those things add up. So your coaches and your run clubs.
At the very basic level, anybody can get out and run from their front door with a pair of training shoes.
Of course. And that's what makes the road is the greatest leveler, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, it knows no genders, and it is the greatest leveler.
But you know that events like this couldn't take place...
I'm sorry, I said genders because although they're now 42, but that's beside the point.
Events like, I mean, I had my marathon in the UK. You know, events like this can't take place without sponsors, without partners. You know, they're the oxygen of the event. They give it life.
Not only sponsors, I think there's a whole ecosystem that kicks in. So, you know, we've got such wonderful sponsors, Vedanta. I mean, that's an absolute giant, and I think they give back to the city.
And also Red Bull now, in this year.
Oh, yeah. You know, this is something which is right up my heart and very, very special to me. And I would love people to read this, because these few lines truly, for me, epitomizes the entire feeling of what the sport is. So we are, first of all, very proud to have Red Bull, one of the greatest sponsors of sport globally, now a partner with us. But I was so keen that Red Bull, you know, creates an ode that sort of matches or joins at the hip, running and this wonderful sport of F1 as well. Apart from that, the car is here. You know, you do know that.
I haven't seen it.
You've got to come and see it, both of you. So they actually wrote this wonderful ode to this partnership. And I don't know if Tim, can you read it out for us? If you can, I'd love people to hear this.
If it comes back on,
can we have that back? Yeah, I don't know if we can have that back on. But I would love you to read it. Maybe I can give it to you from here, because it's truly... No, it's something I really... The reason why I'm so keen you read it, because it's never happened before, first of all. And the fact it's never happened before, I think it deserves some sort of a mention. But we can continue, and I'll bring it back to you when we carry on. But yes...
Yes, we will actually put it up again in a bit, and we'll be able to read it. But, you know, just the fact. All right, so here it is. It is actually
please,
very small.
if you can, I can't see it very
clearly. No, can I? It's very small, so I'd like you to share what's written.
I can read it. At 300 kilometers an hour, Red Bull...
there you have it.
There we
go. Red Bull redefines speed on the world circuits. On Delhi streets, it gives wings to a nation in motion, turning every step into a story of courage. Different tracks, one pursuit. And I love that. Different tracks, one pursuit. To lift humanity beyond the limits it once believed in.
Lovely.
I mean, that is so special to come from a brand like Red Bull. Shakespearean. And look, it recognizes the sport of running. For a brand like Red Bull and this wonderful Red Bull racing team, for them to recognize that it's a great fillip for all of us.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
Now, these are big corporate giants who are coming in, but also talking about social good, the philanthropy that is associated with Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon. If you could just take us through every cause that Vedanta has stood for.
Everyone. There's hundreds.
There's hundreds, the top
50,
hundreds. Right, but something that stood out, which is our top fundraising NGOs. You've got the United Way of Delhi.
But it's Lakshya who's the philanthropy partner, so the philanthropy gateway that manages every penny. If you put your money in 2005, you'll know where your 10 or 100 rupees lies. It's that transparent. So today the running in India, Delhi has raised 100 crores over the 20 years. India together, over the 4 races, has raised 730 crores. So I'm going to heaven, for sure. I'm not sure about you, Tim.
I think humility is lacking there, so I think you could be in trouble.
No.
These are our individual fundraisers as well.
Fantastic. But, I've got to thank a few people. First of all, Vedanta as a group, IDFC First Bank, the chairman themselves, Mr. Vaidyanathan.
He was in here 20 minutes ago.
He was here 20 minutes. What a man he is. He loves running. And he's one of the, really, he's a man who's created this institution, which is... But then we have wonderful brands like Puma, Bisleri, Fastener. So many different brands that have truly... And Red Bull has now spot. And there's so many. We've got Times of India Group, we've got Radio Military. They're lovely. But apart from that, the Delhi government is something we really want to thank. Especially the Chief Minister who's helmed this at the very start. The NDMC, the National...
Without that, it doesn't get off the ground.
Doesn't get off the ground. Yeah. The MCD, the Delhi Metro, the Delhi Police, Delhi Tourism, Delhi Disaster Management, the NBCC. So it's fantastic. And, even the government ministry that are here. You've got the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. You've got the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Sports Authority of India, Indian Athletics, Ministry of External Affairs. So
all the military.
And the Indian Army and the Indian Air Force and the Indian Navy, all 3 of them. In fact, the chief of the air staff was running here today.
The police cup.
The police
the
cup.
201 teams.
It's fantastic. So it doesn't happen without all of them pitching in. And not only do they pitch in shoulder to shoulder, and they make you stand tall. And we've got a great lot to be thankful for.
Absolutely.
But
well
that
said.
also puts into perspective the amount of background work goes to put up something of this magnitude.
You think I've lost my hair just because I'm looking sexy? No. It's got a little more to it.
You've been like that for years and years.
Exactly.
No, but you know what the contrast is? That we watch the elite athletes and we don't know what goes on behind the scenes to bring them to these performances. Months and months of sweat and toil back in Africa or wherever it may be in the Indian hills. But likewise, an event like this is just monstrous on the ground. The rollout logistically is vast. I was staggered this morning at the amount of stuff out on the streets.
We've got some giants like Mandar Pandya, who's headed operations for years. Since I can remember when he joined. He came in as a volunteer in the first year in 2004, Tim, if you remember.
I do.
And then, Mandar is Hugh Jones, who's been around with us for the last 20 years. Every single race, he's the race director.
Exactly.
He's also the winner of the London Marathon and the Sahara Desert Marathon. So we've got some wonderful people here, but it takes an army to put this together. And my brother, of course, who leads the army, my person who leads the army is my brother Vivek Singh. It ain't me. I do the little glory boys kind of a thing, put the sponsors and all that together. But my brother...
You bring in the glamour.
Oh, well, I don't know about glamour is the right word. I have the fun part of it, let me put it that way. And,
well, you make a good team. It's a contrasting pair.
Yes, absolutely. My brother is absolutely special, and more than special, it also takes a different kind of person. I don't have the discipline, if I may say so quite openly. Okay, so I'm very happy. So Vivek, of course, leads the entire logistics and the entire storyline. So, fantastic.
Right. Well, what's next? What's next for Vedanta?
Kolkata. Mumbai, and it starts all over again.
It ends with Kolkata as a calendar year with the Tata Steel. It's now the number 1 25K on planet Earth.
Indeed.
The Tata Steel Kolkata 25K. See you all in December once again.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all for
joining us.
Thank you so much for doing what you do, and thank you for making this go across the world. So thank you so much, and thanks to Sony. One of the great partners is Sony. It's all Beam Live.
Tim, have you enjoyed yourself?
Loved it. Every minute of it. I wish I didn't have to go home tomorrow.
Now, since we've spoken about Kolkata, let me tell you that we will see you there next. As we wrap up Delhi, the Vedanta Delhi Half Marathon, we've been celebrating breaking barriers since 2005. And look at that, Tata Steel World 25K Kolkata. This is where we'll see you next December 21st, 2025. To everyone who tuned in this morning and watched our broadcast, to everyone who participated, we'd just like to say a big thank you. And to our viewers, thank you for watching. That's all. I hope you had a great time.
The Sony Sports Network.